Radio check, loud and clear, loud and clear. Thank you everyone for tuning in and welcome along to the coverage here in the beautiful Budapest. We have got a lot of action up ahead for us today. So, as I said yesterday, that we would have rain forecast for the race today, sorry. And there is a small chance of rain. Looking at the forecast, it looks like a 20% chance of rain for the duration of the race. The circuit, it did rain overnight. It did get very, very wet. However, we did have Formula 3, I think, and Formula 2 also racing before Formula 1 started. That means that we've had a sort of dry line that was already formed on the circuit, and the drivers will majority be taking this dry line. So it's unlikely that we start in the race on the inters unless the heavens open up in the next couple of minutes. The sky does look very, very cloudy. However, it is not the dark grey clouds that are analogous to rain clouds. So just sort of greyish clouds everywhere, not particularly dark. Chances of rain currently are looking fairly slim. Okay. So thank you everyone for tuning in. Be sure to hit the like button, folks. Really does help out the channel to get the stream going nice and early. And so we've got 45 minutes away from the start of the race. I hope you guys enjoyed the trailer that you were watching. I don't know if everyone saw that trailer, but let me know what you thought. Do you think I should do trailers for all of the streams, or you don't really mind or care? But yeah, I think now that the stream started, no one's ever going to be able to access the trailer. So yeah, just a quick reminder, anyone that is using a VPN to watch the race today, you can get Surfshark VPN using the link in the description, a Swiss VPN server into the description, and then you go on to SRF, and then once you're on SRF, you can watch Formula 1. Alright, so that is that, and yeah, we'll be getting underway shortly. So, let's, run through what happened yesterday. What an amazing qualifying session it was. I mean, I've got to say, that qualifying session was absolute cinema. Simply lovely. And there was just chaos from start to finish. And somehow, the Aston Martins are up in 5th and 6th position. Even Fernando Alonso himself said to the Aston Martin team, we need to understand how we got up into the top 5 and top 6, because Aston Martin themselves don't know where the pace came from. They had a very, very minor tweak to their front wing, and that was it in terms of upgrades for this weekend. And this tiny little tweak on like the final couple percent of the front wing has extracted so much performance. Maybe they're just good at Hungary, I'm not sure, but both Alonso and Stroll up in 5th and 6th position. Charles Leclerc with such a good lap yesterday. So, a lot of people went and did the analysis afterwards. Charles Leclerc was running a low downforce setup. We looked at the top speeds. Leclerc was around 7-8 kilometers per hour quicker through the speed traps than the McLarens. So Leclerc with a low downforce, or not low, but lower downforce setup than the McLarens, beats them at a high downforce circuit. So just sheer commitment from Charles Leclerc through the middle sector, and he managed to pull off a sensational lap. So we were sort of looking at where Charles Leclerc gained the majority of his time, and I'll take you through an onboard lap of the circuit, sort of just to show you what Leclerc did and where he gained the majority of his time, where Piastri gained a lot of his time. So, we will take it from here. So both drivers going into, where is it actually? Why is the onboard not showing up? Let me just refresh the onboard. But essentially, obviously through the straights with Charles Leclerc on a lower downforce setup, he was much quicker. And then in the corners, Charles Leclerc surprisingly still holding his own against Oscar Piastri in that McLaren. So, right, let's make this a little bit bigger and bring that over here and get rid of this race strategy. Wait, what's going on here? Okay, so I shall probably rewind that. Okay, so quickly. Out of the final corner, both drivers got a pretty good run, but the big thing was Charles Leclerc, lower downforce setup, he had a little bit extra top speed, so blasting down the straight with the DRS open, as he passes through the speed trap, 8 kilometers per hour is the top speed difference between Piastri and Leclerc. Then going to turn 1, the wind really affected the drivers in Q3. Piastri actually missed the apex of turn number 1, so a mistake from his side. Then going towards turn number 2, the wind was messing everything up. Both Leclerc and Piastri missed the apex of turn number 2. Then going through turn number 3 and 4, they were about neck and neck at this point. And then through the flick of turn number 4 and then towards 5, Piastri gains a boatload of time through turn number 5 because he has the extra downforce, and this is where it really counts because your tyres are sort of overheating after turn number 4. You need the grip, and Piastri got it. Then Leclerc took an ever so slightly different line through the chicane. I'll just rewind that again. So through the chicane here, I've hit this first apex and first curb quite hard. Charles Leclerc missed it, albeit he missed it by accident, but he missed it, and that actually gained him a lot of time through the second part of the chicane, and got a really nice run through here. Through turn number 8, nice performance, and then turn number 9, incredible commitment from Charles Leclerc through here, and carried so much more speed than Piastri. Then through turn number 10, pretty similar, and 11 again. This is a high-speed corner. You need as much downforce as possible. Piastri, with the higher downforce setup, still was slower than Leclerc through this corner because Leclerc took a lot more curb and was a lot more in the limit. Piastri was playing it a little bit safe, and yeah, well, obviously it didn't work for him, did it? As they headed down towards turn number 12, Piastri gained a little bit of time in turn number 12 as his tyres were doing slightly better than Charles Leclerc's was. And then on in towards turn number 13, both drivers had some mistakes. One, I think Leclerc had a mistake on the entry, Piastri had a mistake on the exit, but then through turn number 14, both had a smooth run, but Charles Leclerc just beat him to the line by 26 milliseconds. It was extremely close yesterday in quali, and I must say, in fact, this top 4 that we saw yesterday in quali, right, that is the closest top 4 we have seen in Formula 1 history for the past 64 years or something. So it has been a very, very long time since we've had such tough competition, and yeah, just an incredible lap overall, really. So folks, we have got the cars out onto the circuit. What are they doing now? They are driving around the circuit, getting a feel for where the grip levels are, where the circuit is grippy, where it isn't, and the circuit is dry. They are out on they're out on slick tires, sorry, and there are dry lines and there are wet lines, so the drivers being very cautious of the fact that they need to stick to the dry lines, otherwise they will spin off very, very easily if they do touch a damp patch of the circuit. The skies out in Budapest, totally cloudy. There is no blue skies whatsoever, and yeah, essentially the drivers are the clouds completely covered. The sun will not be warming up the circuit. As you can see, air temperature 22 degrees, track temperature 37 degrees. So that makes it interesting for the strategy. So I'll run through what we're sort of expecting from the strategy today, and we are most likely going to be looking at a 2-stop. With the lower track temperatures, there is a possibility of a 1-stop. You are going to need fresh sets of mediums and fresh sets of hards to make it work, but it is possible to start the race on the mediums and go onto the hards. You're just going to need supreme time management to make it work. Otherwise, you could be struggling quite severely towards the end of the race. Yeah. Okie dokes. So, what else have we got going? It's not the formation lap. No. We are 36 minutes away. They're doing the reconnaissance laps. They're just getting a feel for the circuit, and then they're making their way to the start-finish line so they can start the race from the grid. Where can I watch the race using a VPN? It is SRF. So you connect to a Swiss VPN server, and then you Google SRF, and then you can watch it just over there. Yeah. All right. You forgot to name the corners. There aren't any names for the corners here in the Hungaroring, at least not that I know of. So, yeah. Why is there a dry line? Did it rain? Yes, it did. It did rain overnight, and that has affected the grip levels. You know, some of the rubber that was on the circuit yesterday has been brushed off, and because of that, it results in, well, slower lap times, a little bit more sliding around on the circuit, higher tyre wear, and, well, I guess we'll see how it goes. F1 Gamer, can you upload the stream intros as separate videos on the channel? Would boost your channel as algorithm? Maybe I will have a look into it and see what I can do. Okay, we've got 4,000 people tuning into the live stream. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Folks, be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe. It really does help out the algorithm. And hopefully I'll be commentating for the entire race for you guys. We are 70 laps of racing around here in the Hungaroring in Budapest. And there is potential rain forecast for later on in the race. As of right now, though, it is not clear skies, it is cloudy skies in Hungary, and we're having the drivers go out on their reconnaissance laps. Yeah, Charles Leclerc's already lined up on the grid, I think. Oh no, Charles Leclerc's just coming out the pit lane here, and he'll be yeah, just driving around on a set of used soft tyres. Okay. 200k subs for F1 Gamer Chat. Yeah, maybe. I mean, hopefully we can hit 190k subs today, and then, maybe in 2 or 3 races time we'll hit 200. But, if you guys want to hit 200k today, then be my guest. Go ahead and click the subscribe button. Let me just change this over to race data. Oh, the other thing, folks, that I would like to mention is that I had a look at the sort of theoretical best lap times that the McLaren team could do, and Piastri, if he hooked together his best first sector, his best second sector, and best third sector all in one lap, he would have been half a second clear of Charles Leclerc. Lando Norris, if he had done that, he would have been 0.4 of a second clear of Charles Leclerc, a tenth back from Piastri's perfect lap. But both McLarens, I've got to say, a huge fumble from them. Their car had so much pace, and you look at the theoretical lap times, and they're both half a second or 0.4 of a second clear of Charles Leclerc, and neither of them could put a lap together right at the end of Q3. And yeah, Charles Leclerc delivered exactly when it mattered right at the end, and yeah, simply great performance from him. Yeah, the wind did not help from any of them, but Charles Leclerc still managed to improve from Q2. Because, if you were looking at all of the lap time comparisons, the majority of the drivers in Q3 didn't improve because of the wind, but Charles Leclerc managed to do so, showing us the fact that it is theoretically possible, of course, to improve from Q2 to Q3. But yeah, the McLarens just couldn't put it together. All right, my predictions of the race. Let's see. I'm predicting an Aston Martin podium. I think Mr. Fernando Alonso is going to get a good race start. He is going to make his way up into the third place spot, and then he's going to defend. And he's going to defend like he has never defended before. And I think that we're going to see an Aston Martin podium today, potentially from Fernando Alonso. Another thing to point out, Gabriel Bortoleto in the Kick Sauber outqualified every single Red Bull in yesterday's qualifying session. I've just got to say, huge shout out to Gabriel Bortoleto. Incredible job that he is doing in that Kick Sauber team. And the Racing Bulls and the Red Bulls, just, things are just going bad to worse to terrible to, outright abysmal. So, yeah, it's not really that great for the Red Bull team, and they've got to sort something out. Yuki Tsunoda starting from the pit lane. He's going to have a modified setup for him. And another thing I'd like to point out here, folks. So, here in Budapest, you've only got 2 overtaking opportunities in reality. You've got turn number 1, turn number 2. That's where you can get the majority of your overtakes done, if not all of them. And now you've got to look at the different setups that the drivers have. Charles Leclerc has a low downforce setup. What does that mean? He's going to be quicker down the straight. It's going to be harder for the McLarens to overtake him down into turn number 1, down into turn number 2. However, his tyre wear is going to be significantly worse. We already know the McLarens are really good on their tyres, and they've got a high downforce setup which helps with tyre wear. Charles Leclerc, low downforce setup which makes tyre wear even worse. So Leclerc will be fighting a very uphill battle with his tyres because, they're just going to wear out very, very quickly. Thankfully, here in Budapest, the quickest strategy actually is a 2-stop strategy, given that you have the pace to overtake the drivers who are doing a 1-stop. So let's just imagine a scenario where on the opening lap, we have Leclerc, Piastri, and Norris all, they all stay in the same position, and Leclerc leads the way from the front, but his tyres are going to be wearing out quicker and quicker. Piastri, can he get the overtake done on Leclerc if he's got less top speed than Leclerc? It's going to be a tough one, to say the least. So if he's stuck behind him, Piastri might be forced to do a 1-stop strategy to try and stay ahead of Leclerc, keep track position, and let Leclerc try and re-overtake him for the lead of the race right at the end once he's done his second pit stop. So it's going to be a very, very interesting strategy battle. We'll see how the Ferrari team cope with that because, as we know, the Ferrari team isn't the best at these strategy-related things, but yeah, I'm sure Charles Leclerc will be able to figure something out while he's in the car and just tell the team what to do exactly, and they'll just hopefully copy him. Um, but yes, folks, currently, as what you can see here, all of the drivers are exploring the circuit. They're making sure everything works. Firstly, from overnight, from the quali to the race, making sure all the systems and the cars work, and then they're making their way towards the starting grid to be, well, starting the race from the start finish line. Yeah, so that's basically what's going on there. And as you can see, majority of the drivers now, they've made their way towards the starting grid, and they're all parked up there right at the start of the straight as well. That's another thing to point out. The starting grid is very, very early on in the straight, so that means there is a very good chance to go slipstreaming down towards turn number one, and also a very good chance to go bowling into turn number one. If a driver does lock up, because you can see the circuit is not as grippy as it was yesterday. There is still little remains of damp patches and water and stuff like that on the circuit, and it's never going to be the same as it was for quali yesterday. The left side of the circuit will be the cleaner side, so the drivers with odd numbers, so Leclerc, Norris, Alonso, they'll be on the clean side of the grid. The drivers with the even numbers will be on the slightly dirtier side of the grid. However, it's sort of become a much more level playing field because of the rain yesterday. What that has done is washed away the grip that was on the left side, so now both sides of the grid are equally ungrippy, and it's a level playing field for drivers on either side of the grid. Okay. F1 Gamer, what's your take on Hamilton's qualifying performance? I really don't know, actually. I mean, Charles Leclerc's on pole, Hamilton's in 12th, knocked out of Q2 again. I mean, in Spa, he got knocked out of Q1 twice. In Hungary here, knocked out of Q2. I don't really know what can be done. Hamilton himself in the interview was so depressed. He said Ferrari needs to change driver, honestly. Like, he was genuinely just had enough of it, and he was like, Ferrari need to do something else because I'm just not delivering. Like, he was very upset with himself, and in Spa, he managed to turn it around on race day. He had a wet setup. It was raining at the start, and he managed to gain a bunch of positions, and then when it became dry, he was sort of stuck behind the rear wing, I think, of an Alpine or something. But regardless, I don't know if he'll be able to make a comeback today, because Hungary's pretty tough to overtake about, and yeah, it's Hamilton said, and I quote, "I'm useless." Yeah, it's not great, isn't it? F1 Gamer, have you heard the voices about Latifi studying aerodynamics? No, I thought Latifi, I think, went to a business school or something. I think I saw something about that. So, yeah, Nicolas Latifi, I don't think he's studying aerodynamics. I think he's studying business. Because his dad is like a billionaire or something along those lines. Just like Lance Stroll, to be fair. F1 Gamer, will we see an epic race if in the mid-race rain causes a quali? Yeah, I mean, we could, I don't really know what that comment is, or maybe I can't read, but either way, yeah, if it does start raining, it's going to be very, very exciting. There is a small chance of rain. The clouds are they're everywhere, and that's probably going to result in some rain at some point. But the question is it going to be at the circuit, and is it going to be during the race itself? Quite often we've seen, as soon as the race finishes, the heavens open up and it starts pouring it down. Or I think it was 2020 Hungary, there was rain all around the circuit. Like, you've got to imagine, I think, how it was, at least from my perspective, when I was watching the race in 2020, it felt like there was rain 360 degrees around every single part of the circuit except the circuit itself. So I guess we'll just wait and see if it decides to fall today. And yeah. F1 Gamer, do you think they'll demote Hadjar to the sister team of Red Bull Racing? Well, Verstappen managed to outqualify both of them. Barely, I've got to say. But, yeah, Verstappen, I really am asking the question now, would Verstappen perform better in a Racing Bulls car? Because, yeah, the Red Bull just seems to sometimes just be totally unable to switch on. Verstappen was complaining about it on the outlap. So was Tsunoda. Both of them were saying, yeah, I've got no grip and I've just come out of the pits. They were sat in the pits with tyre warmers on, for crying out loud. And they come out onto the circuit, no grip, understeer, oversteer, the whole lot. So, yeah, I don't really know. Okay, 70 laps of racing, folks. The wind is it's 8.6 kilometers per hour. It's blowing from the westerly direction or towards the westerly direction. I'm not 100% sure, but either way, it's a crosswind for the majority of the circuit. It's not going to be affecting the drivers too much, and it should die down later in the day. Track temperature is 22 degrees. Air temperature is 22 degrees. Track temperature 36 degrees, and that is fairly cold actually. In fact, this was the track temperature we saw when Max Verstappen came over the radio, or his engineer came over the radio and said that you're losing lap time because you can't warm up your medium tyres. They were genuinely saying the medium tyres are not getting hot enough in these conditions because it is a very slow speed circuit, so there isn't that much energy going through the tyres. You know, let's imagine Suzuka, right? In Suzuka, you're going through the S section, you're pretty much in 5th or 6th gear going through all of these corners, and you're warming up the tyres loads through that. Here in Hungary, you're more like in 4th gear and 3rd gear going through a lot of these corners, and you're just not putting that much energy through them, which means the medium tyres even struggle to overheat, even struggle to warm up in these conditions. So the drivers that could start the race on the softs could have a very, very good launch compared to the drivers on the mediums, and starting on the hards would be just a recipe for trouble, to be honest. And yeah, I guess we shall see what happens there. I'll quickly put up on the screen what tyres the drivers have available to them, because that will also affect their strategy quite significantly. So let me just pop that up there. Oh, this is a little bit too small in terms of the font. Let me just go back. Yeah, so let me just make this a little bit bigger. So as you can see here, we have got Piastri has got a new set of medium. Oh my god, oops. Piastri's got a new set of medium tyres and a new set of hard tyres as well, and one new set of hard. So it looks like Piastri might be doing soft, medium, hard. Same for Norris, same for Leclerc. And Leclerc's actually got 2 fresh sets of hard tyres. I don't know how well they're going to work though in these conditions, with hard tyres not being that grippy when the track temperatures are low. The drivers who have 2 sets of hard tyres might be a little bit screwed here. I guess we'll have to wait and see. Nobody apart from Hülkenberg and Bortoleto have 2 fresh sets of medium tyres, so that might work out very, very well for Hülkenberg and Bortoleto, because the medium tyres are much better than the hard tyres at this temperature range. Oh my god, it's dropped even further, 33 degrees track temperature. Yeah, I really don't know what's going on there, but track temperature is just dropping further and further, and that is helping out the drivers that have medium tyres and making it worse for the drivers that have hards. So just to reiterate here, the 2-stop strategy is theoretically the quickest. However, Pirelli were assuming a warmer track temperature, warmer ambient temperature. They weren't predicting it to be this cold. So I think the 3rd strategy down, the 2-stopper, that you start on the softs, then go on to the mediums, and then hope by the end of the race the sun comes out, warms up the circuit so you can use the hard tyres. That might be the way forward. And yeah, definitely start the race on the softs, because we know it's difficult to overtake around here in Hungary. But if on the opening lap you have a set of soft tyres that are switched on, ready to go racing, and you're against drivers on mediums who are a little bit cold, don't have that much grip, you can make up loads of time, loads of places, and that could make or break your race. So I guess we'll have to just wait and see, won't we? Okay, so let's get rid of that. And yeah, 21 minutes away from the start of the race, folks. 21 minutes away. Let me know what you think's going to happen in today's race. We have got Yuki Tsunoda starting from the pit lane. Apart from that, all up positions from qualifying are as they were. And a pretty standard weekend here in Hungary, really. We're going to have, well, not pretty standard. We've got Aston Martins in 5th and 6th position. And yeah, who's going to come out ahead as well? Is it going to be Piastri or Norris? Piastri will have the inside line going in towards turn number 1. Of course, if he decides to stick to his line, maybe he'll tuck into Charles Leclerc's slipstream. Maybe Norris gets a good start. He tucks into Leclerc's slipstreams. Piastri's held out to dry. Who knows? Will Charles Leclerc be able to do it though? Will he be able to hold on? What VPN do you recommend, folks? If you do want to watch the Formula 1 coverage for free or for $2 a month using a VPN, you pay $2 a month to get Surfshark VPN using the link in the description. You join a Swiss VPN server, then you go on to Google, you search SRF, and once you've done that, you can watch the Formula 1 coverage. And yeah, that's about it really. It's fantastic, and it's a lot cheaper than Sky Sports or ESPN or any other alternative. So go ahead and check it out if you're interested in that. There's a link in the description, and it also goes a long way to supporting the channel. Okie dokes, if you haven't hit the like button, folks, be sure to do that as well. We're making our way towards 1,000, well, 2,000 likes before the stream, before the race even begins. And hopefully we can hit 190k subs today. That'd be very, very nice. Also, I would like to announce who won the Surfshark giveaway from last weekend. It was TVR1975. That's someone's YouTube username. So if you're watching the live stream today, just send me a DM on Instagram, F1_gamer_5, and I'll send you a link to Surfshark VPN for free. And yeah, folks, if you do want to enter the giveaway, well, if we hit 190k subs today, I'll give away 2 Surfshark VPNs subscriptions for you guys to watch Formula 1. So all you've got to do to enter the giveaway is type in F1 Live into the chat. If you type it in once, you enter the giveaway. If you type it in more than once, you get unentered into the giveaway. So yeah, that's how it works. All right. Here we go then, folks. We are 19 minutes away from the start of the race, and I'm going to take you through an onboard lap while we're waiting. So here we go. Yeah, all right, where's the unpause button? There. Okay, so you make your way through the final corner, and in fact I'll take you through a much more detailed lap here. So the main thing is you're going down this straight here is, well, firstly hug the inside line. It opens up the exit of the corner for you and gives you a lot more speed down the straight. So yeah, make sure to do that. Of course, helps to get a good run as well. Also, another thing, let's just imagine you're trying to overtake a driver coming down the next main straight. You have to take a slightly different line into this corner. So majority of the time, you'll be taking the racing line that you can see there on the screen. But if you're going up against someone and you're in their dirty air, that's not going to work, and you're not going to get a good run out onto the start-finish straight. So it's actually better to go a little bit deep into the corner, just hold the outside line for the whole corner, and it lets you carry a little bit more speed onto the straight and gives you a better shot of overtaking. So we'll keep our eyes peeled to see what the drivers are doing, because it's all of the drivers constantly experimenting which is the best line to come out the final corner to get a good exit. It depends on wind conditions, it depends on grip levels, tire temperatures, what the driver ahead of you is doing. It's really, really difficult to get a perfect exit, and well, that's what the drivers are aiming for, a perfect exit onto the start-finish straight. So you blast your way down the start-finish straight, you open your DRS flap, and you are heading towards turn number 1. You're up at 315 kilometers per hour, slam on the brakes at the 100-meter mark, and then once you've done that, you slowly go up through the gears, up through 4th and then 5th, downhill now, DRS open again towards turn number 2, and downshift into 3rd, hit that apex ideally. You don't want to be missing it because it does cost you quite a bit of lap time and compromises your run through turn number 3. Now up towards turn number 4, flick the car to the left, hope that you stay within track limits. Very, very easy to go wide there. Then carry as much speed as you can through this part of the circuit. For the chicane, what you want to do, miss the first curb, hit the second curb, and then gain a bunch of lap time going through turn number 8 and 9. Specifically through turn number 9 actually, what Charles Leclerc did and what gained him a bunch of time. So just going through here, he jabbed onto the brakes super duper sharply. That transferred a bunch of load onto the tires at the, onto the front tires, and the car sort of squatted forwards, and then he turned in with all of the load on the front tires, and that gave him a bunch of grip into the corner, and that's how he gained a lot of lap time on Oscar Piastri. He did a very similar thing for turn number 11, and that's how he could carry so much speed, and that is how he got pole position, jabbing the brakes really sharply, sort of lurching the car forwards, and then turning in. And yeah, simply magic from Charles Leclerc. Then in the final sort of part of this lap, your tires start to overheat, you start to make a little mistake on the entry and the exits, but then just try to get a nice run out onto the start finish straight, and that is a lap of the Hungaroring, ladies and gents. Okie dokes. We've got 7,000 people tuning into live stream. Thanks everyone for tuning in, and welcome along to the coverage here in Hungary. And let's get underway. F1 Gamer, do you think there is also there's a curse on the Red Bull seat, and the driver can only be a four-time world champion now, Vettel and Max? Well, I don't really know, actually. I don't think it's that's only really happened once, really. Vettel couldn't win any more championships because Ferrari was... Ferrari was Ferrari. We've seen what they've done to Fernando Alonso. We've seen what they did to Seb Vettel. And now they've done it to Lewis Hamilton. Ferrari, the destroyer of world champions. So, yeah, not great, really. Not great. So, I really don't know what's going to happen to Max. But I do hope he's fighting up at the top of the pack at some point. It's always great to watch him push as hard as he possibly can. And put out some special laps. Tsunoda starting from the pit lane. I think he's got a new engine, so he's starting from the pits. Nice to see you here, Carlos Sainz 55. Yeah, thanks for tuning in. Let us know what the weather forecast is like in Budapest, but as of right now, it just looks super duper cloudy down the main straight. F1 Gamer, will you be posting vids during the summer break? Indeed, I will. I mean, I'm not going to be posting loads of videos, maybe 1, maybe 2, maybe 3, but I'm focusing on getting the merch done, to be honest. Once the merch is done, then I'll be pushing my attention towards the videos. Alright then, so let me know what your predictions are, folks. I really don't know what's going to happen here. Also, what do you think is going to happen to Antonelli? Antonelli's in 15th position. He's got a lot of ground to make up. George Russell, his teammate, is up in 4th position. So, Antonelli is quite a bit back. However, you do have to consider qualifying in Hungary yesterday was so tight, like just ever so close. And so will Antonelli be able to make progress throughout the grid, or is he just going to be stuck there down in 15th? Is Hamilton going to be stuck there? Is he going to be able to make his way up into the points? Will the Astons fall backwards? Do they just have a really good quali performance and not so good race pace? Yeah, it's a tough one to see, really. The race pace wasn't looking outstanding for the Aston Martins, but also it wasn't that terribly slow as well. So they could have potential to keep up and especially with the defensive capabilities of Fernando Alonso. I have no doubt that the Astons could stay up in 5th and 6th and score a whole bunch of points, which they desperately need. We'll have a quick look at the Constructors and the Drivers' Championship here while we're waiting. So you can see there, Piastri 266, Norris 250, so 16 points between those two, and then Max Verstappen at 185, a long way back, and the championship is not looking good for him. He's going to need to score... Well, he's going to need to win pretty much every race till the end of the season, and the McLarens are probably going to have to finish like 2-3 or 3-4 or something, and then Verstappen would win. So it's looking rather unlikely for Max right now. But who knows what the second half of the season holds. And then if we look at the Constructors here, let me just bring that up over here. And you can see that the Constructors is quite close. You've got Williams at 70 points there in 5th. And then Sauber is in 6th position with 43. RB only 2 points back. Aston Martin 5 points back from that. Haas only 1 point behind them. And then 15 points back to Alpine. So, yeah, let's just say Aston Martin score a bunch of points this weekend. Then they're going to go right up there into probably 6th position, get ahead of Sauber, and then start competing against Williams. But it's, I would say, you've got Williams, Sauber, RB, Aston Martin, and Haas. Those 5 teams all competing for 5th position, and to be honest, it's really unpredictable. The Williams' performances have been kind of terrible. Albon getting knocked out, Sainz also not doing so well, and then... yeah, Haas have had the occasional good race, but then, again, they're down in 11th and 17th this weekend. Then we've got Bortoleto up in 7th. Hulkenberg knocked out in Q1, though. Hulkenberg, will see every single time he has scored points this season, he started outside of the top 15. So he's got knocked out of Q1 every time he scored points. So maybe that's a sign. Maybe he's going to score some points today. But, yeah, I really don't know. F1 Gamer towels in the merch so you can throw at the screen. Yeah, folks, if you don't get that reference, Max Verstappen, during I think it was FP2, threw a towel out of his... wait, where is Albon going? The formation lap is 11 minutes away. Where is Alex Albon going? What has happened to his GPS? Is the channel SRF or ORF, folks. So if you're watching from Switzerland, it's SRF, or the Swiss VPN, it's SRF. If you're watching from an Austrian one, it's Service TV. But I would recommend SRF. It's just a little bit less laggy than Service TV typically is. Okay. I guess Albon's GPS is broken. Always a good start to the race when you've got a broken GPS to start us off with. Yeah, brilliant, brilliant. Is it raining? No, folks. It is not raining as of right now. The sky is totally cloudy, and as you can see there, track temperature 33 degrees, the lowest we've had all weekend long here in Budapest. Track temperature 22 degrees. The teams, in fact, they design their entire cooling packages around the conditions here in Budapest, because this is probably the hardest circuit on the cooling systems of Formula One cars. But yeah, here we are, and we've got 22 degrees air temperature, 34 degrees track temperature, and it's relatively smooth sailing, really. The teams, in fact, they can't even take off the big cooling packages that they've installed. They can't even take them off now because we're in parc fermé conditions, and it's no longer allowed. If you want to change your cooling setup, you've got to go right to the back of the pits. So you've got to start from the pit lane, sorry. And yeah, why would you take that compromise? So the teams are going to stick on with a little bit extra cooling, and then, it might come in handy a little bit later on in the race when, or if, the sun comes out. All right. Reverse grid. Clearly, I've clearly missed the rule. Reverse grid, and Alex Albon starting from first position. Okay. Let's see, what else have we got going on then? We've got 10,000 people tuning into the live stream. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Be sure to hit the like button, be sure to subscribe. Really does help out the channel. I've probably said that about a million times in my lifetime at this point. But yeah, a big thank you to everyone that does press the like button and the reminder button and stuff like that for the channel. It goes a long way to making the channel where it is right now. So very much is appreciated, folks. Okay, so let's get underway then. Let's get underway for some racing. 8 minutes now till the cars make their way out onto the circuit. We'll talk through the rest of these drivers then, have a chat about, well, what's going to happen? Where are they going? So I think George Russell will have his contract signed at Mercedes in the next couple of weekends because, well, Max Verstappen staying at Red Bull. Toto Wolff isn't really going to sign anyone else because George Russell is about on par is on par or better than the majority of the drivers on the grid. Max Verstappen may be an exception, maybe Piastri might be slightly better than Russell. I don't really know, but I think it's quite clear to say that Verstappen is a cut above the rest, and that's why Toto Wolff wanted him. But now that Verstappen is staying at the Red Bull team in 2026, George Russell probably will have his contract extended. He will want it extended till 2027 to give him a little bit more confidence at the team. However, I think the team just want to keep him till 2026 and try and sign Max Verstappen again for 2027. And the team have a history of sort of just giving out one-year contracts to their drivers, because we've seen it so many times with Valtteri Bottas. When it was Valtteri Bottas and Lewis Hamilton, Bottas was a great wingman driver. He was always giving up the position, always playing the right strategy game, and etc. But they would still only give him 1-year contract extensions just to sort of keep him a little bit on edge. Like, oh, if I don't deliver, if I don't listen to Hamilton, if I don't sort of listen to the team radio message saying, let Hamilton by, then we're going to have you out for the next year. That's sort of what Mercedes want looming over the driver when it was Valtteri Bottas' time. They were saying, that's why we're going to give you a 1-year contract, because if we give you a 3-year contract and suddenly you start totally ignoring team orders, then we're a bit screwed, aren't we? So George Russell is not in that situation where he is going to have to listen to team orders or anything like that. But George Russell, essentially, the rest of the grid, Max Verstappen is prime candidate for joining Mercedes. That's what Toto Wolff thinks, at least, and that's why they want to keep that seat open. They're not getting rid of Antonelli, the young rookie driver that they've invested so much money into. But to be fair, they've also invested a load of money into George Russell, and I would love to see Russell versus Verstappen teammates. That would be incredible. But of course, Toto Wolff doesn't want the headache that he had back in 2014 to 2016 of Nico Rosberg versus Lewis Hamilton. It was just so much. Yeah, I mean, I can imagine it's the biggest headache in the world, having two amazing drivers just constantly competing at each other's necks all of the time. And I can see why he doesn't want Verstappen and Russell next to each other. But it's not particularly kind to Russell either. Verstappen says in a press conference, I think, that he expects Red Bull not to score any more wins till the end of the season. And I don't know. this Red Bull car seems a bit temperamental. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, and very similar to that football press conference. And so maybe they get to a different circuit. Maybe they get to Zandvoort and it's perfect. The car's really set up for Zandvoort, and for whatever reason Max Verstappen gets poled by 0.4 of a second or something. That could happen, but I think Max Verstappen was obviously quite annoyed after qualifying in 8th position. So he probably said that in a press conference, just a little bit out of frustration. But I think there's still a chance. They just need the luck on their side, to be honest. Okay. F1 Gamer, it rained quite a bit in the south of Budapest. Yeah, it rained quite... I think it rained quite a lot around Budapest overnight and stuff. The circuit did get wet, but as of right now, it's dry. The Formula 2 raced here, the Formula 3 raced here, and we've got a dry line that's formed up on the circuit. Okay. Yeah, just to confirm here, folks, the drivers who have odd numbers, so, 1, 3, 5, like Leclerc, Norris, Alonso, they'll be starting on the left side of the grid. That'll be the clean side of the grid. The drivers who are starting with even numbers, they'll be on the right side of the grid, the odd side, the right side of the grid, and they'll be on the dirty side. So there's not that big of a difference because it rained overnight, but yeah, the left side is slightly cleaner than the right. Oh, tyre information. Oh my god, Ferrari, what are you doing? Track temperature now down to 31 degrees, and they've put Lewis Hamilton out on a set of hard tyres. Hard tyres that only work when the track temperature's above 45 degrees Celsius. I mean, Hamilton is just going to be struggling so much. He's going to have to do like 10 burnouts to get those rear tyres up into temperature. The top 11 are all on medium tyres. Hamilton on hard. Sainz is on softs. I mean, I think that's fairly clear to see. Sainz is going to jump Hamilton off the start of the race because, well, he's on soft tyres. Hamilton's on hards. Colapinto's on mediums. Antonelli on mediums. Gasly also on hard tyres. I don't know really what they're thinking. Or maybe they've got a thermometer that's different to ours. But, yeah, I'm really not sure what's going on there. Ocon on mediums. And then we've got Hülkenberg and Albon on softs. And Tsunoda starts the race on mediums. Okay. Yeah, I mean, Hamilton's going to have to press K1 to overtake, but with cold tyres, if you press K1, he's just going to spin out. Okay, the soft tyres are the fastest. We've got the C5 for the softs, the C4 for the mediums, the C3 for the hards. The soft tyres are going to get switched on. The medium tyres are going to be a little bit harder. But yeah, track temperatures are falling, and the cloud cover gets bigger and bigger. So, maybe rain later on in the race, but for now, mainly track temperature falling through the floor. All right. It must be the water. Indeed, it must be. Rain 1 hour, question mark. I mean, I don't really know. We'll keep our eye out on the radio messages. They quite often over the radio will tell their drivers what they're sort of expecting in terms of the rain. And yeah, we'll just have to keep our eyes peeled. Okie doke, 16,000 people tuned in. We've got 2 minutes now till the start of the race. So here we go then. From the back of the pack, we have got Yuki Tsunoda in 20th position with a new engine starting from the pit lane and probably some setup tweaks to go with. And then Alex Albon in 19th. A lot of work to do from him. He's starting on the soft, so that's going to help him out off the line. Same thing for Nico Hülkenberg. He scored all of his points from starting outside of the top 15. Maybe he'll do it again. Esteban Ocon is in 17th position. He's got some places to make up in that Haas. Catch up to his teammate who's up in 11th. Gasly on the hard tyres is going to struggle, but yeah, maybe he can pull off some weird strategy and get up into the points. He's done some pretty good defensive work last weekend, and I think he might be able to continue on this weekend. Antonelli is a long way back from his teammate in 15th position, and well, they're expecting him to get up into the points. We'll see if it can be done, but a lot of other drivers will be making their way up the field as well, and we'll see if Antonelli can stick with them. Colapinto in 14th, nice job from him making it up into Q2. And yeah, a lot of people talking about now whether Colapinto deserves to stay in Formula 1. Colapinto currently is in Formula 1 because of the money. His sponsors bring a lot of money to the Alpine team, and that's why he's been there. But at some point, he's also going to need to start delivering performances. Maybe that starts from now on. Carlos Sainz in 13th, still not a great weekend for Williams. We weren't expecting them to be amazing. It is a high downforce circuit after all, and Williams very good in a straight line. So polar opposites really, but 13th place for him. He's on soft tyres looking to jump the driver that replaced him at Ferrari. Lewis Hamilton knocked out of Q2 it has been 2 race weekends now, and he hasn't made it through into Q3. And yeah, with his teammate up in first position, it is not a good look for Lewis Hamilton. He said, "It's useless. I'm useless. Ferrari need to change driver," in a press conference. And I can't help but see that starting the race on the hard tyres is not the smartest idea. We've got the drivers and the engineers now and the mechanics taking off the tyre warmers. They're lowering the cars onto the circuit. We're about to get underway for the formation lap. Behrman is out on mediums, and then the 2 racing bulls are in 9th and 10th, both on mediums as well. Verstappen on mediums, Bortoletto in 7th position. Incredible job from him, and he out-qualified both of the Red Bulls, both of the Racing Bulls, and a sensational drive from Bortoletto in quali yesterday. We've got the Astons up in 5th and 6th position. It's been a long time since we've seen both of them up so high, and we'll see if they'll be able to stay up there. If there's a little bit of chaos, if Lance Stroll goes bowling, then there's a chance for a podium for Fernando Alonso. We've got George Russell up in 4th position. He had 2 purple sectors yesterday, but still only 4th in quali. Then Lando Norris in 3rd, Oscar Piastri in 2nd, and Charles Leclerc, a magic qualifying lap from him yesterday, and with a low downforce setup, beat the McLarens at their own game at a circuit where the McLarens should have been dominating. In the theoretical best lap times, the McLarens would have been half a second clear of Charles Leclerc, but they couldn't hook up a lap together in the windy conditions. Charles Leclerc could. That's why he starts from pole. Alright, it might be Albon's GPS is broken, it might be Albon's GPS just fixes itself later on. But thank you everyone for tuning in. We've got 22,000 people tuning into the live stream. Very much is appreciated, folks. Be sure to hit the like button, be sure to subscribe. We are going to get a very, very exciting race underway here in Belgium. Okay. Belgium? Did I just say Belgium? Here in Hungary. I'm still at Spa in my brain. Okay. The Ferrari strat to warm up the tyres is to do some donuts. Yeah, I don't think that's going to go well. Also, I don't know why it says quali starts in 0 minutes. It's definitely the race that starts, but regardless, it doesn't matter. We're getting underway for the formation lap. The drivers weaving left, right, getting all of those tyres up into temperature as much as they possibly can. They're going to need it. It is the medium tyres that it's still not warm enough for the mediums, let alone for the hards. The soft tyre runners are going to be salivating. They're going to be looking to gain as many positions as they can on these opening laps when the drivers do have cool tyres and, well, the soft tyre runners have an opportunity to attack. Alright, Piastri takes the lead in lap 1, maybe, who knows. There's a pretty long run in towards turn number 1. There's loads of opportunities to overtake, and we've seen drivers go bowling, we've seen drivers go round the outside, down the inside, around the left side, around the right. Anything can happen, and, well, we're about to find out what will. Brilliant. Here we go then, folks. Let me know who you think is going to be getting the race win here. I have no idea, but I do think we're going to be getting an Aston Martin podium after our friend Lance Stroll goes bowling into turn number 1. 26,000 people tuned into the live stream. Very much is appreciated, folks. We're about to get underway for some racing here. All right, I'm going to have a quick sip of water because we're going to get a mega race. Alright, Charles Leclerc is lined up on the grid position. He's got his clutch settings dialed in, and we have got the last car approaching the grid. The safety car is lined up. We've got the green flag waving at the back of the grid, and we have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights. It is lights out and away we go. What a great start for Charles Leclerc, already cutting across. Here comes Lando Norris against Oscar Piastri in towards turn number 1. Who is it? The McLaren side by side. Piastri just squeezes out Lando Norris, and oh my goodness me, Lando Norris has had his race start compromised by his teammate. It got really feisty there. Alonso's up into 4th. Leclerc leads, then Piastri, then Russell, then Alonso, then Norris, Bortoletto, Verstappen down 1 place. And look at that, down at the back of the pack, we've got a little bit of chaos going on. What is happening there? Sainz is up into 12th, up 3 places there from Carlos Sainz. Hamilton down 2, and up at the front, Charles Leclerc leads the way with Oscar Piastri in 2nd. All right, folks, DRS will be getting enabled on the following lap. We've only got one DRS detection point, and that means that we'll only have DRS actually being used on lap number 3 onwards. But the race is underway, and we have got Charles Leclerc. He's already pulled a 1.1 second gap. Charles Leclerc, man on a mission. He is pushing like crazy to break this DRS from Oscar Piastri. The question is, can he do it? The gap through the third sector, what is it? It's getting super duper close here. And Alonso's trying to hold on to the back of Russell as well. We know the Astons don't have that much pace. He's also going to have to defend against Lando Norris. I don't know how that's going to go, but Alonso has a pretty good defensive record around here. Okay. Here we go then. And yeah, Piastri, great final sector from him. He manages to stay within DRS. Alonso already dropped out of DRS from George Russell. Not the best start for Alonso. Well, to be fair, he got ahead of Lando Norris. Norris got severely compromised by Oscar Piastri. I've got to say, great racecraft from Piastri at the start of the race. You know, he was not that harsh or aggressive, but he just positioned his car in such a place that Lando Norris had nowhere to go, and he dropped back 3 places, or 2 places. Okay, DRS has been enabled, ladies and gents, and look at that, purple first sector for Max Verstappen. He's trying to get ahead of Liam Lawson. Lawson ahead of Max. I mean, I know they're not part of the same team, but Helmut Marko will be having some stern words with Lawson if he doesn't let Verstappen by. He does so. I mean, doesn't really does so. Verstappen gets a nice overtake done on Lawson, and up into 8th place is Max. Okay, purple middle sector for Charles Leclerc, half a second up. Leclerc is a machine in the middle sector every single time. In qualifying yesterday, amazing middle sector that got in pole position. Today as well, what a middle sector. And as they pass through the DRS detection point, what is the gap? 1.047. Leclerc has done it. His mission was to break DRS. He does exactly that. And he gets a fastest lap of the race to go with it as well. All right. Are we going to get Charles Leclerc win this race? Norris up ahead of Fernando Alonso at DRS, and he is right past him. Alonso's got no DRS to defend for himself, and he's not going to fight this one. He's got Gabriel Bortoleto, the rookie that he's been mentoring, right behind him in his mirrors. And, well, we'll see what happens there. But Alonso down into 5th, Norris up into 4th. Is he going to be able to overtake his fellow Brit? Is Fernando Alonso going to try and come back at him? I guess we'll wait and see. Okay, let me just turn on slow mode. We've got 32,000 people tuned into the live stream. Probably need slow mode on the chat. Okay. Hamilton purple in the first sector. Here he comes against Kimi Antonelli. What can Lewis Hamilton do? He's down in 14th position. Are his tyres switched on by this point? We're on lap number 3. And yeah, we have, what's that? Is that Verstappen? Verstappen's overtaken Stroll again into turn number 6. 2 overtakes done now by Verstappen in towards turn number 6. Some nice progress up the field for Verstappen. And great job. Great job to start off with. But Bortoleto still holding 6th position. I've got to say, brilliant job from Bortoleto so far. And how much longer will he be able to continue with that? What can the soft tyre runners do as well? Here comes Carlos Sainz. He's on the back of Isaac Hadjar. We've got a big old DRS train here, you can see. Off the back of Alonso, Bortoleto, Verstappen. In fact, you've got a DRS train from Alonso right till the back of the pack. That is absolutely huge. But Alonso's holding everyone up, and Verstappen is on the charge. Can he get ahead of Bortoleto? They head down the hill towards turn number 2 and 3. The gap up at front, might I say, another fastest lap of the race from Charles Leclerc. 1.8 seconds is the gap. Yes. Oh yes, he is pushing nice and hard. And this is the thing, folks. Charles Leclerc's got a low downforce setup. That's not going to help his tyre wear. Oscar Piastri has got a high downforce setup. That is going to help his tyre wear. So I have a feeling Ferrari does the 2-stop. Charles Leclerc pushes flat out for the whole race. Oscar Piastri manages his tyres. We'll see who comes out on top. Okay. Here we go. If I'm going to move the data 5 pixels to left, if the positions changed, well, won't fit on the screen. Even with 5 pixels or so, it's not going to fit. I tested it out before the stream started, unfortunately, folks. Okay. Alonso's backing them all up. Well, here comes Verstappen. Verstappen tries to get ahead of Bortoleto, unable to get past. And, it says Bortoleto moved before the signal. I don't know what that is, but Bortoleto's been noted under race control. False start. So Bortoleto could be getting a penalty there. But regardless, that doesn't matter. Verstappen is in his mirrors. He is gaining and gaining, but it doesn't matter because Bortoleto is trying to overtake Alonso here. And Alonso is defending yet again. Nice traction out of these corners. Hulkenberg with a lap time deleted for exceeding track limits at turn number 1, and these drivers are going to have to be careful here. It's super duper easy to exceed track limits, especially around Hungary, because you're sat so close to the ground you just can't see some turn-in points or some apexes, and you go wide. That's a warning, and then 5 warnings or 3 warnings, and you get a penalty. Okay. F1 Gamer, I suspected it too. He was just in front of me. Okay, so it looks like, Bortoleto then. And maybe a false start from him. Who knows what will happen. But, maybe a 5-second penalty heading his way. We got 33,000 people tuning into the live stream. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. Folks, if you could hit the like button, very much would be appreciated. All you've got to do to enter the giveaway for Surfshark VPN to watch Formula 1 for only $2 a month. You got to hit the like button. You got to hit the subscribe button. And once you've subscribed for longer than 1 minute, you can type in the chat F1 live, and that enters you into the giveaway. Typing into the chat once will enter you in. If you type it more than once, you get disqualified or unentered into the giveaway, whatever you want to consider it as. So yeah, go ahead and do that, and very much is appreciated. Subscribe, hit the like button, and then type F1 live, and you get entered into the giveaway. Okay, purple first sector from Max, purple middle sector from Charles Leclerc, purple final sector from Fernando Alonso. Everyone is pushing, and the overtakes are getting increasingly difficult here. Hulkenberg into the pits, 5 laps on those softs, and Hulkenberg also, false start noted, moving before the signal. Wait, what? Both of them have moved before the signal. Was that an issue with the Kick-Sauber system? Did something flash on their steering wheel that sort of indicated that they should start releasing their clutch or something? That is super strange, because Bortoleto was at the front of the pack. Hulkenberg was right at the back of the pack. It wasn't like they affected each other. Very strange. Very, very strange. Zandra Rose, thanks for becoming a channel member. Very much is appreciated. I guess it's just unlucky, really. But we'll see what penalties they get awarded, because typically it's pretty clear cut. If you jump the start, it's a 5-second penalty. Look at the gap as well up at the front, the top 4 versus the rest. And Leclerc has pulled a 3-second lead on Piastri. Incredible job there from Charles Leclerc. And George Russell is holding off his fellow Brit, Lando Norris, 1.2 seconds back, unable to get within DRS range here. What you can see, this little green outline indicates that he's catching up. We've just seen a fastest lap of the race from Norris. He is catching up, and Alonso again and again in the final sector just manages to hold on, and then he builds up a gap big enough that Bortoleto can't overtake him into turn number 1. Really nice driving from Alonso. He backs off in the first sector. He doesn't need to push there, because Bortoleto won't be able to overtake him. But in the final sector, when it counts, Alonso's pushing. Okay. Another channel member. Adam, thanks for joining the channel membership. Folks, anyone that joined the channel membership, huge help out to the channel. So, yeah, really is appreciated. It's only like $1 or €1 a month. So, thanks very much for helping out the channel. Okay. Here we go then. Here we go. What else have we got going on then? Charles Leclerc, purple middle sector. He is just pushing like crazy, isn't he? We're on lap number 7 of 70. The pit stop strategy, the drivers on the softs probably going to start pitting around lap number 10, lap number 12. The medium tyre runners can probably make it to lap 20 or so. So, yeah, those are the approximate lap time, pit times that we're looking at. So, Sainz and Albon coming into the pits reasonably soon. Hulkenberg is going for the undercut here. He's got clean air, and that's what he's aiming to help him out. You look at the first sector from Nico Hulkenberg, a 29.5. That is quicker than Oscar Piastri's first sector. Like, Piastri's just had a fastest lap of the race, but Nico Hulkenberg actually goes quicker than him in the first sector because he's got the clean air. No dirty air affecting him. And yeah, this might work out well for the Kick-Sauber team. So let's wait and see. Alonso's put on his train conductor hat. Indeed, he has. Yeah, he's just built. Yeah, Alonso, DRS trade, choo choo for Fernando Alonso. Silent Mindset, thanks for the donation. Very much is appreciated, buddy. Aston ruined the race. Well, I don't know about ruin the race, but yeah, they're definitely bringing everyone close together at least. Here comes Verstappen against Bortoletto. Does he look to the inside through turn number 6? Can he get an overtake done? Unfortunately, I don't think he can. Nico Hulkenberg, fastest lap of the race, ladies and gentlemen. Very, very nice. Baz28k, thanks for joining the channel membership. Again, very much is appreciated, and thanks for helping out the channel. Hope you're all enjoying the coverage and commentary here. We are going to have a very, very exciting race. Piastri's just come over the radio here. Some competitors are talking about a one-stop, and do you think a one-stop is possible? Piastri says, I mean, the tyres feel okay for now. I mean, it's difficult to know with this many laps to go. You know, that's true. 62 laps left to go. They're not even 1/10 of the way through the race. Oh no, they are 1/10. They're out 12% way of the way through the race. It's difficult to call. Scryce, thanks for joining the channel membership. We've got so many people joining the membership. Really is appreciated, folks. And yeah, it's only $1 a month, €1 a month, and it goes a long way to keeping this channel sustainable. And of course, I'm blocking all of the adverts here for you as well, so really does help out. Okay, thank you very, very much. Just a quick reminder for the person who won the Surfshark VPN last week, that your name is TVR1975 on YouTube. If you won, just send me a DM on Instagram, F1_gamer_5. Alright, here comes Lando Norris. He is within DRS of George Russell now, and well, he's within one second now. He's got to hold it together in the middle sector and the final sector. If he can do so, then he will have DRS. A 5-second time penalty has been awarded to Nico Hulkenberg for a false start, moving before the signal, and yeah, I mean, I think it's fairly clear-cut, isn't it? A 5-second time penalty, jumped the start, and yeah, not much you can really do about that one. Okay. So, Norris has found his groove. He's within 1 second of the DRS for George Russell. Here he comes. No, Russell, no DRS, no slipstream up ahead of him. Piastri's 2 seconds up the road. That's too far away to be gaining a slipstream. And let's see, can Norris get the overtake done into turn number 1? No, he cannot, but he can take the fastest lap of the race. Piastri's just been told over the radio in towards turn number 6 and 7, carry more speed through 6 and lift a little bit more in turn number 7. That is what Leclerc did on his pole lap yesterday, and still they're informing Piastri, please copy what Leclerc did. He knows what he's doing through the middle sector. And yeah, Piastri still got some improvements left to do. The gap up to 3 seconds. Norris, though, is practically pushing George Russell through the first and second sector here. Foxy, thanks for joining the channel membership. Really is appreciated. We've got loads of people joining. Thank you so much. And Obden, thanks for the donation. Love your streams. Thank you very, very much. And yeah, hope you're all enjoying. We have got 61 laps of racing left here at the Hungaroring. Loads of pit stops. Some drivers trying to do one stop, some drivers potentially not, but we shall keep our eyes peeled. Lance Stroll struggling a little bit with oversteer. He's down into 8th position. Alonso still in 5th though. That's where he started the race. And it's purple in the middle sector for Piastri. Look, he's just listened to what his engineer told him on the radio and carried more speed through 6, lift a little bit more into 7. And look, what do you know? Purple middle sector for Oscar Piastri. Very, very nicely done. And here comes Lando Norris. This is his second time now. He's on the charge. He's opening the DRS flap. And can he get onto the back of George Russell? He's gaining. He looks to the inside, but he's just way too far back. Not even Daniel Ricciardo would send a dive from that far back. So, yeah, Lando Norris has got to force a mistake from Russell, which is pretty tough, or he's got to get the perfect run out of the final corner, or he's got to do both. Okay. Really appreciate the extra information about the strategies and pit time loss. Thanks, F1 Gamer. No worries. You know, I'm here to give you as much information as possible and, of course, provide the best commentary that I can. They come over the radio to Norris, say, we need to get past Russell. Well, thank you, Mr. Obvious Team Race Engineer. I didn't know that you had to overtake drivers and get past them. Yeah, I don't really know what they were telling Norris that for. Like, Norris obviously is trying to get ahead of Russell as much as he can. Let's see, though. He's within half a second now as they head towards the final 3rd sector. SK Jishan, thanks for joining the channel membership. Verstappen is getting cooked. Well, yeah, he's actually stuck behind Bortoletto. Momentarily, he was actually closing up on him a couple of laps ago, but he's dropped out of DRS range. I don't know if his tyres are overheating or what's going on, but Verstappen unable to keep up with the Kick Sauber. I mean, that's exactly what we saw in quali as well, isn't it? All right, here comes Norris. Can he gain again? He's too far back at the start of the straight. That is the huge problem for him, and that is why he is struggling. Seco23, thanks for the donation. Oh my goodness me, so many donations, so many channel memberships. Really is appreciated, folks. Thank you so much, everyone, for all of the support. You guys are all the reason why I can get a new laptop for streaming and stuff like that. That won't lag all of the time and get good internet that hopefully doesn't crash and stuff like that. So, yeah. Very big thank you to everyone. Okay, and here we go then, folks. What is going on here in Hungary? Oh, Dana Puppy, again, more channel memberships. Thank you so much, everyone. All right. And Russell is just being super duper consistent, I've got to say. He's fighting for a podium here and incredible consistency. What happened to Nico Hulkenberg? Oh, I mean, it must have been super duper close. But he says we have a 5-second time penalty. And Hulkenberg says, I'm not aware. I didn't feel anything on my side. So Hulkenberg thinks he didn't jump the start. And it looked very borderline. You're going to need a slow-mo camera to figure that one out, to be honest. I don't know how Hulkenberg jumped the start. It looked pretty close to just a normal race start. But maybe, it's a matter of milliseconds. And milliseconds count in Formula 1. So fair enough. Okay, and just to look up front there, Leclerc still holding that 3-second gap. They're being fairly consistent there, and just looking backwards towards Nico Hulkenberg, who's right at the back of the pack. He has his lap time still a 1:22.2 on the previous lap. That is quicker than Alonso. That's about on par with George Russell. So some really good place in clean air, and I don't know why some other teams haven't thought about this. Bring out the undercut and... Oh, wait, is that Norris's GPS? Norris's GPS is broken, folks. Norris has not crashed. His GPS has just teleported him back. And we've got another channel member here, Panic Bunny. Thanks for becoming a channel member. We've got... Oh, my God, just so many people. Thank you very much. Okay, yeah, Norris's GPS momentarily broken. And Max Verstappen a 1:23, and yeah, it's a long way back. I mean, he's just stuck behind Bortoleto. Bortoleto is doing 1:22.9, and Bortoleto stuck behind Alonso, who's doing a 1:22.9, and then you got a big jump, half a second quicker for Lando Norris, up in 4th position. But Alonso doing his defensive work as always, not letting Gabriel Bortoleto past. All right. Yeah, here we go then. Tyre save mode, maybe they're doing tyre saving mode. A lot of teams are thinking about a one-stop. Because track temperatures are down at 30 degrees, they might be able to pull it off. Just a quick reminder here, folks, I can just pull up the strategy, I think. I'll quickly just flash it up on the screen, what Pirelli thought was the best strategy to go for, and then I'll take it off the screen very quickly. But they thought that a two-stop medium to hard was the quickest, and then the medium to hard one-stop was the second fastest. So I think the drivers who started out on the mediums are going to try and pull off the medium to hards, but the drivers who started on the softs, it'll be definitely very tough for them. All right. Also, folks, if you're interested in watching Formula 1 for only $2 a month, it's in the description there. Surfshark VPN for $2 a month. You join a Swiss VPN, which is free, as long as you've got Surfshark. You Google SRF and you watch Formula 1 for free. Again, as long as you've got the VPN to Switzerland, you're all good. So go ahead and check that out if you folks are interested. It's a lot cheaper than ESPN. We've got around 500 or so people using it on the stream right now, so definitely does work. And in fact, I'm using it myself. And yeah, if you guys... And the commentary's in German, though, so you have to mute it and listen to me instead. And if for whatever reason it doesn't work, you can always get a refund. But that's the last of that, and we'll continue on. And folks, if you don't want to pay for it and just win a giveaway, all you've got to do, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and then type in the chat F1 Live, and yeah, and then you get entered into the giveaway. So... I'll announce the giveaway winner in the next race in Zandvoort, but the winner for last weekend's giveaway was TVR 1975. So yeah, send me a DM on Instagram. Okay, that's the last of that. No more Surfshark or whatever till at least halfway through the race. No more, yeah, no more radio till the end of the race. No more Surfshark till the end of the race. Thanks for the donation there, Isam. Did we overestimate the rain in hindsight? Maybe we did. Maybe we did. I think I forgot to account for the fact that Formula 2 and Formula 3 would have raced there before Formula 1 earlier in the morning, and they cleaned up the circuit a lot. It was wet at the start of the day, but Formula 2 and Formula 3 cleaned it up. Ocon and Albon come into the pits, and they come out. Albon on mediums, Ocon on hards. Ocon's going to have a very, very tough time to keep those hard tyres in check. To warm them up, really. Look at that track temperature, 31.2 degrees, super duper cold here in Budapest. Well, I say 31 as if it's super cold, but it's super cold relative to what we had last year. Last year, we had nearly double the temperature. We had 59.8 degrees Celsius for track temperature during the race last year, and now it's nearly half. Okay, Lando Norris still sat in the DRS of George Russell, but he's just unable to get past him. And Russell, in fact, driving slower than Piastri. Now that gap is extended up to 3.5 seconds. Okay. Here we go then. We're on lap number 16 of 70. So as you can see, some of the medium tyre runners are coming into the pits. So it looks like Ocon and Colapinto, they're going for a 2-stop. The medium tyre, maybe the drivers that are carrying on, going to pit a little bit later, they're going to try for a 1-stop. Sainz comes into the pits. He is the last of the soft tyre runners. He did 15 laps on the soft tyres. I must say, a pretty good stint there. And we'll see what he can do and what tyres he comes out on. Albon started on the soft. He went on to the mediums. I think Sainz will do the same. But just look at the undercut that Nico Hülkenberg has pulled off. That was, look at that gap there. Sainz to Hülkenberg is a huge gap in terms of standings. And Hülkenberg and Albon started the race next to each other. They were pretty much right there, dead last. Hülkenberg, albeit, has a 5-second penalty. But if you just ignore the 5-second penalty and look at the undercut strategy, he's gained pretty much an entire straight's worth of lap time there. So sensational job from the pit crew down in Sauber. And yeah, we'll see if they can pull off some more nice strategies. We could have a potential safety car, a tiny little crash here. It's a pretty narrow circuit, gravel traps everywhere, grass everywhere. A little mistake, safety car's out, and that could throw a lot of stuff up into the air. Top two are just cruising, yeah. I mean, looking at their lap times, a 22.1 from them. Or Colapinto, who's out on fresh tyres, has just done a 21.6. So half a second quicker is Colapinto, and he's in dead last. So clearly they're cruising. Clearly they've also got some pretty worn tyres as well. Hadjar versus Behrman, rookie battle. Yeah, Hadjar is getting extremely racy against Behrman, and Behrman is 3 seconds back from Lawson, so he's not got anyone to help him out. It is a straight fight, Behrman versus Hadjar, with the DRS blasting down towards turn number 2. Can Hadjar get anything done towards Behrman? No, he cannot. Just a little bit too far back, but he's gaining at a rate of knots. Bortoletto didn't get a 5-second penalty, just Hülkenberg, so Bortoletto got away penalty-free. I don't know, maybe they had a look at it and maybe Bortoletto didn't jump the start, but it's strange. Both drivers somehow, well, were at least investigated for jumping the start. Could Charles get Ferrari's first win of the season? I mean, he's currently in the lead of the race at Budapest. It's hard to overtake. If they don't mess up the strategy, then who knows what could happen. Also, he's 2.5 seconds clear of Oscar Piastri. So even the undercut for Piastri would be very, very tough. He would need an amazing outlap, and he'd also need a quick pit stop, and Ferrari would need a slow pit stop. 3 things have to go right for Piastri to undercut Leclerc with a gap hovering around 2.5 seconds. If Leclerc can push that up to 3 seconds, then maybe he can even extend that out even further and make the chances of him getting undercut less likely. Oh, is this Ferrari mechanics? Ferrari mechanics out into the garage. We've got Verstappen into the pits as well. And, okay, so Verstappen's coming into the pits. Let's see what tyres he comes out on. He's currently on the mediums. He dives into the pit lane. The Red Bull pit crew. Nice quick pit stop for them. Hard tyres. He's out on a set of hards and a 2.3 second stop for Max. And he makes his way back onto the circuit in a nice bit of clean air. So he can push, potentially undercut the drivers ahead of him because he didn't manage to get some overtakes done on the circuit. Yeah, Bortoletto's going to have to be careful. Verstappen is going to try and undercut him. But he's got to make sure that he can get those hard tyres switched on, that's the issue. Oh, Norris saying plan A -5. Plan A -5. -5 normally means, oh, Norris said, confirmed my tyres are gone. Okay, plan A -5. -5 means they're coming into the pits early and they're stopping, -5 being like, oh, if we're going to pit on lap 25, we're going to pit on lap 20 instead. That's exactly what Lando Norris has done. Oh, no, Piastri's into the pits. Piastri's into the pits as well. What have they done? Are they double stacking the McLarens? Norris continues on. Piastri into the pits. He's going to try and undercut Charles Leclerc. Leclerc, it is go time now. It is absolutely go time. The Ferrari mechanics there in the garage. Is Leclerc going to do a one stop? Is he going to do a two stop? If Piastri pits on lap number 20, a two stop becomes extremely difficult. He comes out on a set of hard tyres as well, I think, does Piastri. Yes, he does. And Norris says his tyres are gone. I believe him because he's been sat in the DRS of George Russell for the previous 10 laps or so. Verstappen purple in the middle sector. He's trying to undercut Bortoleto. Bortoleto, he couldn't improve his sector times. Purple in the final sector for Max. And Bortoleto's under pressure here. Piastri's got a nice bit of clean air to try and undercut Charles Leclerc. Ferrari, what is your move? Are you going to do the overcut? Are you going to do a one-stop? Are you going to get undercut by Oscar Piastri because you're really bad at working out strategies? I don't know. Let me know what you think. All right. Here we go then, folks. All right. What's going to happen there? Norris is still sat in Russell's DRS. He just cannot do anything. He's pushing extremely hard. But, oh, okay, Ferrari into the pits. Charles Leclerc's into the pits. Will he get undercut? Piastri's purple in the middle sector. Leclerc's sectors weren't that good. They need a quick stop here from Ferrari. Are they going to mess it up? No, they do not. Nice, quick, smooth pit stop for the Ferrari crew. Here they are. Leclerc's heading down the straight. How close is it going to be? A 2-second stop from Ferrari. Fantastic job in towards turn number 1. Leclerc is comfortably out ahead of Oscar Piastri. Nice job. But is the gap within 1 second? That is the big thing. And the gap, as they head down the hill towards turn number 2, it is 1.4. A quick pit stop from Ferrari. That is what saved them. We got purple sectors from Piastri, but still the undercut didn't work. And Leclerc has got a defensive tool ahead of him. He's got Fernando Alonso. If he can catch up to Alonso, he'll get DRS off him and he'll be able to defend against Piastri. Piastri, he's got the hot tyres. Leclerc's got the cool tyres. They've just come over the radio to Piastri. Leclerc's going to struggle on the outlap with the warm-up, and struggling he is indeed. He needs to get those switched on because Piastri is approaching and approaching quickly. Oh my god. All right, Hulkenberg purple in the first sector. He's still got a lot of pace left in those tyres. Max Verstappen fastest lap of the race, and he's caught up to the back of Tsunoda. Tsunoda should just let him by. Oh, a lock-up from Leclerc as he came out of the pits, I think. Yeah, really not great, but Leclerc has just saved his race. He got within DRS of Fernando Alonso, and that means that he's going to have DRS down the start-finish straight, and so's Piastri, but that's going to be sufficient for him to defend. Nicely done. Piastri with the fastest lap of the race, but it's not going to help him out. Leclerc sends one to the inside of Alonso. Alonso doesn't fight it. He's not in this race, and Alonso continues on. Will he let Piastri by so easily, though? I don't know. Let's wait and see. All right, Lando Norris, he's done target -5, so I think that must be a 2-stop, surely. If Norris has said target -5, or maybe that was a code word, you know. Just to sort of clarify to any people that have just tuned into the live stream, McLaren have given permission to their drivers and their race engineers to fight against their other driver outright. They can go and use internal team information to outwit the other driver, outwit the other strategy team. So Norris could have sent a fake message out that forced Piastri to come into the pits, and maybe they're playing some crazy mind games. Let's just wait and see. Okay, Piastri now, he's on the back of Alonso, and Leclerc's job now, he's been given, it's his saving grace really, Fernando Alonso here. Leclerc has just got to push like crazy. The gap between himself and Alonso, currently 1.3 seconds. If Piastri gets past him by the next straight, Piastri's not going to be within DRS range. Both drivers have warmed up tyres now, which makes it very, very tough for Piastri to close up, and Charles Leclerc is in the lead of this race, and after the first set of pit stops. Okay, what an exciting race this has been so far, and we still haven't had the full strategy come into effect as well. Okay. Safety car, a red flag would really spice things up. Well, Antonelli comes into the pits. Russell, fastest lap of the race. Oh, very, very nice from George Russell. A fresh set of hard tyres, and he is pushing like crazy, really. Let's see what he can do. Can he catch up to Fernando Alonso? Piastri, of course, got the overtake done on Alonso. Nice and easy. But the key thing, the gap to Leclerc now is up to 2 seconds. Is Norris going to back up Leclerc? I mean, if Norris stays out for ages and ages, I mean, why would he back up Leclerc? Norris is in a title fight with Piastri. They're not working together to score more championship points. They're in a title fight. So it makes no sense for Norris to back Leclerc up. Because if he backs Leclerc up, then that means Piastri will overtake Leclerc, and Norris will have to overtake Leclerc and then Piastri. So they're not working as a team. And in fact, I don't know what they'll do. Maybe he'll let Leclerc by and hold up Piastri. We'll see. But he's just been told over the radio, safety car windows are open. It's either plan A or look to extend, or keep plan D. So they've got loads of plans out. And yeah, they're just conveying so much information over the radios. It's crazy. All right. Gasly's on 21-lap-old hard tyres. Hamilton is on 21-lap-old hard tyres as well. Both of them started out on the hards, and their lap times are 1:23.2. So, you know, they're not that slow, but it could be a lot quicker. Charles Leclerc on fresh set of hards are 20.9. So they've lost about a second or 2 seconds worth of, or not even 2. Yeah, 2 seconds worth of lap time, over the course of doing 22 laps of racing. Charles has very good pace. Indeed, I've got to say, Leclerc, even with the low downforce set of his tyres wearing out more and more, he's still pushing like crazy, and his pace is just impeccable. No mistakes as well, I've got to say. Not a single one that I've seen while looking on board with Charles Leclerc. He's been driving flawlessly so far. Sonoda's on the softs, interesting. Yeah, I mean, he's 3 seconds back from Antonelli, so he's got to try and catch up to Antonelli, but Antonelli dead last. Of course, there are some more pit stops to come through, but, no, Antonelli's not dead last. He's one position back from dead last, but regardless, Hamilton is in 11th. He's stuck behind Isaac Hadjar. These two have had their fair share of battles in the short time that Hadjar's been on the grid, but, yeah, Hamilton unable to close up to the back of him. He's on the hards, Hadjar's on the mediums, and the mediums are hanging on just all right for now. Norris must be on the one stop. I think it is. They were talking about extending, so they must have baited them or just faked their strategy or something. They said -5. -5 is a sure sign of a 2-stop. And lo and behold, it looks like Norris is going for a 1-stop here. Can Hamilton undercut with the hards and do a 1-stop? Indeed he can. He can pull off a 1-stop strategy. We'll just have to wait and see what happens. It depends on the safety car and stuff. I mean, maybe Norris is out there waiting for a safety car. Is there any battles going on? Any people to potentially crash for a safety car to come out? Let's wait and see. Behrman and Hadjar are having their battles. Verstappen just gets ahead of Pierre Gasly in towards turn number 2. Round the outside he goes. Gasly's not fighting it too hard, but a nice clean overtake there from Max, and up the hill he goes towards 4, and he is safely ahead of Pierre Gasly. Okay. Oh, they've said something to Lando Norris here. Wait, let the next team radio come by. What does it say to Norris? Verstappen's come over the radio. Guys, this was a really bad idea. I've got so much traffic. Not ideal. Verstappen was complaining about the strategy last year, and again, he's complaining again. They told Norris now 100% pace just over the radio now. So, let's see what's going on. Is he pushing like crazy? His sector times aren't looking that amazing right now, but he is on 24-lap-old medium tyres. All right. We've got George Russell here. Does he get ahead of Fernando Alonso? Alonso, nice defensive work. He did it against Russell's former teammate Lewis Hamilton. Russell tries to go down the inside. He could not get that one done. Alonso positioned his car perfectly. As they go through turn number 3 and 4, Alonso is holding on. He might not be able to keep the McLarens behind, but he most certainly can keep George Russell behind. He's done it before. He's kept a Mercedes behind, a charging Mercedes on fresh tyres. And, well, he's going to do it again. All right. Yeah. We'll see how long Alonso can defend. He did it against Lewis Hamilton for 9 laps back in 2021. He had a really big incentive. Of course, Ocon was in the lead of this race. They come over the radio to... Piastri comes over the radio to the engineer, said, do you think a 1-stop would work? And they say, difficult. So... maybe they're trying to, Piastri's looking at this right now. I don't think a 2-stop's going to work. He doesn't think he's going to have that much pace. So maybe Yeah, maybe he's trying to do a two-stop. Well, he wants to do a one-stop, but his current strategy is a two-stop. We'll see how it works. But he's got 45 laps left to go, and he's already done 8 laps. That's 53 laps on a set of hard tyres. That is very, very tough to do. You know, it is a relatively slow-speed circuit, but these tyres do wear out. And we have got the softer of the Pirelli range. Here comes George Russell. He does get ahead of Alonso now. Will Alonso try the switchback? No, he won't. Alonso really could only hold up George Russell for that one lap. And, yeah, Russell just breezes past him. The Aston Martins, their quali pace was good, race pace not so much, but it looks like he's trying the one stop because Russell has come into the pits significantly earlier, and I have a feeling Leclerc, Piastri, Russell, all of them are on two stops, and Norris, Alonso, Bortoletto, Stroll, anyone that's out on the medium tyres right now, they're going to be trying a one-stop strategy. I don't know if it's going to work, but I can tell you that they're definitely going to try it. Verstappen, he's on the back of Lewis Hamilton. Hamilton's been stuck behind Hadjar. We'll see if Verstappen can do some quick work on Hamilton. These two have quite the history battling here. And even in last year's race, they collided and Verstappen got pretty airborne. Hamilton goes a little wide through turn 5 in towards turn 6. Can he get an overtake done? No. Bit stuck, I think. I think he's saying getting a bit stuck sitting behind these guys, says Hamilton. And yeah, I mean, he is getting stuck, isn't he? Verstappen's just caught up to the back of him. He's now in a Red Bull sandwich, or a Racing Bull / Red Bull sandwich. Up at the front, though, Piastri only 1.8 seconds back of Charles Leclerc. If they are going to undercut against his rival there, so Leclerc's either got to extend that gap out, but he's talking to his engineers over the radio about what they discussed before the race. So we'll see how that works out for Charles Leclerc. Verstappen taking a really wide line out of the final corner, trying to help himself with the dirty air, but he's just too far back from Hamilton. There's too much dirty air. There's dirty air from Behrman, from Hadjar, from Hamilton, and then he's driving. So he's got 3 cars worth of dirty air ahead of him. Lewis's race was over before the first lap. Yeah, it wasn't. I mean, it was over when he got knocked out in Q2. Things haven't been on the up, and maybe a safety car can help him out, a well-timed one. But there are 44 laps left of this race, and the car number 44 is in 11th place as of right now. Lag, folks. No, the stream is not lagging for me, and I'm sending it perfectly over to YouTube. It might be YouTube servers, because of course it's getting broadcast all around the world. If it's the mic, if the mods could let me know if it's the mic, I'll try and figure something else out. I will, actually I could probably just change my mic audio. Give me a sec, folks. Alright, is this better? Is this better for the mic? I'm not 100% sure, but it might be better. Folks, if it is lagging for you, just give it a quick refresh. Give it a quick refresh, and that should be fine. Alright, it's a stream, not the mic. Okay, well, I'll just continue on then. Folks, the thing is, you know, you've got to imagine here, there are 45,000 people watching this live stream. It's getting broadcast all around the world from YouTube servers, and there's only a 10-second delay, so it's a little bit tricky. I do apologize for any sort of issues, but my internet connection here is good. It's the YouTube servers that are the problem. So just give it a quick refresh, and it should be fine. I'll continue on, though. I'll continue on with the coverage. So we have got... what have we got? Hamilton is in... Yeah, Hamilton's still stuck there in the DRS train. Verstappen trying to get ahead of Hamilton here, and they're both going super wide at turn number 2. Neither of them have grip. They're understeering everywhere. Okay, people are saying the refresh works. Okay, nice. Well, go ahead and just do a quick refresh then, folks. It's a bug on YouTube side, and it should be back. All right, everyone's saying the refresh worked. Brilliant. Leclerc saying we're going to lose this race with these things. We are losing so much time. Okay, what is Leclerc talking about? I don't know. Leclerc's got clean air, but he's losing time to Piastri. It's pretty clear to see that one. So, I don't know. Norris not looking good here. I mean, yeah, Norris is getting caught up, but... Well, actually, no, it's not looking good for Norris, because Leclerc is catching up to the back of him, and they're all going to do an extra pit stop. So... Yeah, Leclerc's already closed up a pretty significant gap. Obviously, with a 2-stop, you need to close up the gap of the extra pit stop you're going to do. You know, you lose 20.8 seconds coming into the pits. And Leclerc has already closed up 15 of those seconds to Lando Norris, who's currently in the lead of that race. So, a very, very nice job done from Charles Leclerc. And his tyres are only 9 laps old, so he can continue on for maybe another 20 laps. Norris will not be able to do another 20 laps on these tyres. I can tell you that for certain. And, yeah, I guess we'll wait and see. All right, folks. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Hope you guys are enjoying the coverage. And yeah, I'll be commentating for the end of this race. Hopefully all the mic issues have been figured out. All right. Oh, Hamilton, is that Hamilton going into the... Oh, Hamilton loses the position to Verstappen there, and up into 11th is Verstappen. So, yeah, how Verstappen finally gets that overtake done. Very, very nicely done. Oh, a lot of lap times deleted here. We've got Behrman with a lap time deleted, Hulkenberg with another one deleted, Antonelli lap time deleted, Colapinto lap time deleted, and Norris lap time deleted. All of them at turn number 7, actually, apart from Oliver Behrman. Oh, the data's just lagged here. Give me a sec. Yeah, the data's back now. Very nice. The mic is popping. Okay, give me a sec, folks. I'll try something different. I'm just going to unplug and replug my mic. Give me a second, folks, here. Okay. So I've just done that. That should be okay. We'll continuing on, and yeah. Alrighty then. So, yeah, here we go then. We've got pretty good racing, really. Pretty good racing. Okay, mic's okay. Okay, well, I'm just not going to read the chat, I guess, for the next two or 3 minutes till everything gets sorted out. But thanks, everyone, for tuning in. So Max is trying now to overtake Isaac Hadjar. That should be a fairly straightforward overtake for him, actually. Looking towards the inside of turn number 6. Can he get this overtake done? Yes, he can. Up into 10th position is Max Verstappen. He's on those fresher medium tyres. They're not totally fresh, but up into 10th place is Max Verstappen. All right. Let's see, what else have we got going on then? Yeah, not much else really. Not that much else going on as of right now. I mean, there's a huge gaggle of cars there you can see in the final sector. They've all got a bunch of lap time. But, yeah. Right, I'm going to have a quick sip of water. I'll be back in just a sec, folks. Okay. So here we go then. Lewis is losing huge amounts of time. He's already dropped off the back of Hadjar. Now Verstappen's going to try and close up to Lawson. He's got a bunch of clean air now, so we'll see what he can do. Hulkenberg trying to get ahead of Pierre Gasly. And the gap up the front, Leclerc's already closed that gap up to Lando Norris. Norris has just been told box, and he does dive into the pit lane. So yeah, Leclerc's going to continue on. Norris will have the fresh tyres, but towards the end of this race, Norris is going to have to do 40 laps on a set of hard tyres to get to the end. You know, Hamilton and Gasly, they have done 30 laps or so, and it's working just A-okay for them. But yeah, I don't really know how it's going to work out. Max Verstappen purple in the first sector, clearly a lot of pace from him. Oh, a 1.9 second stop for Lando Norris. Very, very quick indeed. And a set of hard tyres for Norris, and he makes his way out into 4th position. And he is 18 seconds back now from Charles Leclerc. So this is a thing now. So as you can see there on the right-hand side of the screen, the drivers lose 21 seconds when they come into the pit. So Norris, if he wants to win this race, he has to stay within 21 seconds of Charles Leclerc. He's currently 18 seconds behind. He's only got 3 seconds of margin to play with before Leclerc will come into the pits and come out ahead of him. And even if Norris stays within this 3 seconds and keeps it 3 seconds ahead, then Leclerc's going to come out of the pits on a fresh set of tyres, and Norris is going to be out on used tyres. So that overtake might be easy, might be hard, but Leclerc is up in the lead of this race, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, thanks everyone for tuning in and sticking through whatever mic issues we were having. Hopefully they don't happen again, but appreciate everyone that's hit the like button and hit the subscribe button. Hopefully we can hit 190k subs here today. We're 1.8k subs off, so it'd be a huge thank you to anyone that does hit the subscribe button. And of course, if you do hit the subscribe button and hit the like button, all you've got to do is type F1 live into the chat, and then you enter the giveaway for Surfshark VPN. So go ahead and do that if you're interested. All right, Alonso, though, 32 laps on a set of medium tyres. Same for Bortoleto, same for Stroll, same for Lawson. They're all trying the one-stop strategy. And is it going to work out for them? They're listening to some feedback here. You know, Stroll, the issue for Stroll coming into the pits right now is he's going to come out in so much traffic. He's going to come out in between Gasly and Hulkenberg and Sainz and Albon. It's a big, big problem for him. Whereas Alonso, if he comes into the pits now, he's just going to come out just ahead of Max Verstappen. And you see, just ahead of Max Verstappen, there's a bunch of clean air. So Alonso, it's prime time now for him to come into the pit. Stroll, however, might be having some issues. Okay. Here we go then. What else have we got going? We got Gasly into the pits. Dead last for Gasly, actually. Not the greatest stint for him. 32 laps, though, on the hard tyres he's managed to do. Hamilton was the only other driver that started the race on the hards. He's still continuing on. His lap times, however, not as strong. 123.2 from him. When the drivers are on sort of fresher hard tyres, are doing 121s. Charles Leclerc, his teammate, in fact, is doing a 121.5, and Hamilton is doing a 123.2. So, yeah, that's the higher difference, but firstly between Charles Leclerc and Hamilton, the pace difference between those two drivers, and also 15 laps worth of tyre wear. Why do some hard tyres have a slash symbol? The slash indicates the drivers came out of the pits on a used set. So Piastri had done maybe 1 or 2 laps on these tyres before he actually came out of the pits on them. Whereas, Norris has done 3 laps or 2 laps on them before. And if you don't have a slash, then they were a fresh set when they came out of the pits. So that's all it is. Nothing all that important. Okay. Here we go then. Yeah, Hadjar into the pits as well. Okay, so it looks like, they've done, nearly halfway of this race now. We're at lap 34 of 70. We're approaching the halfway point. And the drivers who are pulling off their one-stop, they've done their first stint on the mediums, then they can relax, they can comfortably make it to the end on the hards to the end of the race. So, let's see what they can do. All right, 2.2 second stop for Isaac Hadjar. He's down in 19th position, unfortunately. It's not great. Alonso, however, if he does come into the pits, he will come out still ahead of Max Verstappen and still in a reasonably respectable 8th position. However, you got to consider Bortoleto, Stroll, Lawson all have to pit. So once that's done, Alonso will probably come out in 6th position, which is very nice going in the Aston Martin, which hasn't got a lot of race pace. Yeah. All right. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in, by the way. Hope you guys are enjoying the coverage. Look forward to commentating to you guys for the second half of this season as well. We're going to have... I'll do the practice streams, the quali streams, the races for all of the races in the season, and we're going right till the end of the season as well. All right. To Brina Jolly, thanks for the $5 donation. Will the next race live stream be set up at the end of the live stream like normal, or will there be a change because of the break? No, it'll be set up like normal. It's already set up, in fact. Okay. So we have Lando Norris, fastest lap of the race. As you can see there, on those hard tyres, he's got to build that gap up because currently, if Leclerc comes into the pits, he's only 2 seconds behind him, and that should be a very, very easy overtake for Charles Leclerc to get done. So, who knows? Okay. Yeah, we're continuing on then, and really, we've only got battles. Antonelli's trying to overtake Colapinto, Lawson's trying to overtake Stroll, and Lando Norris is just trying to drive as fast as he humanly can. There's an incident between Verstappen and Hamilton at turn 4 that's about to get investigated. We'll get a replay of that, but... yeah, I think they did have a little bit of contact. I didn't actually watch the replay, but... yeah, let me know what you think, folks, of the contact or whatever happened between Verstappen and Hamilton through turn 4. Turn 4, very high-speed corner. One of the drivers does end up having to concede. I think Hamilton went wide. All right, another fastest lap of the race there from Lando Norris. And as I said, trying to build up that gap as much as he can. Charles Leclerc also under threat from being undercut by Oscar Piastri. He's under threat of being getting the one-stop done on him by Lando Norris. So, yeah, a lot of pressure on Charles Leclerc. He's got his teammate isn't there to help him out. He's a long way away down in 10th position. So, yeah, it's a lone Charles Leclerc fighting against the 2 mad McLarens. All right. What kind of strategy is Yuki on? I don't really know. I don't know why he came out on soft tyres. He's done 15 laps on them. The most that any driver's done on the soft so far was Sainz. He did 15 laps on them. So Tsunoda looks like he's going to do 16 at least. But I have no idea what strategy they're doing. I mean, the track temperature is still down at 32 degrees, which means that your soft tyres are in their perfect operating temperature. You're not really struggling with too much overheating. But yeah, you still end up with pretty high tyre wear because they are the soft tyres. So we'll see. Maybe he'll come out on hards and go to the end of the race with 34 laps left to go. That should be doable. I don't really know though. Alonso's still just continuing on. I think they're just waiting for a safety car here because Alonso can come into the pits. He'll comfortably come out, I think, just behind Verstappen at this point. But regardless, he'll come out ahead of the traffic, and he's just waiting for a safety car to make sure that he could gain a bunch of lap time for free, essentially. Stroll comes into the pits though. Stroll, let's see where he comes out. Hopefully avoiding some traffic. That's what they're aiming for. F1 Gaming, you're not much of a Lewis person. Well, I mean, you know, Lewis is down in 9th position. He got knocked out of Q2. His performances just haven't been so great. I would love to, you know, cheer him on, but if he's not up there at the top, then I can only hope for a top 10 finish, really, can't I? Yeah, he's one of the best drivers that we've seen in recent years, but his time at Ferrari, I've got to say, just has been a little bit underwhelming. They've come over the radio to Russell. Oh, you're doing really well, and these lap times are looking really good. And Russell's just come over the radio saying, "Just let me drive." He's just trying to focus on his racing here, George Russell, and he might have to pull off a two-stop. I don't know if his medium tires can go to his hard tires can go to the end of the race. He's got 33 laps left. He's already done 20 or so laps on those tires, so it is possible, in theory. And George Russell, we know, is good at tire management. Oh, a big mistake there from Norris. Oh, the mistakes are creeping in there, aren't they, for Lando Norris? They were creeping in Spa, and I think he made 3 or 4 mistakes going wide or locking up, and he sort of just lost his lead, or not lost the lead, but lost the gap to Piastri. It was closing up, mistake, it drops back, closing up, mistake, drops back again. And then they come over the radio here just to Lando. Now it's just popped off the screen. Lando, focus, we don't want these mistakes. And, you know, it's pretty obvious, you don't want the mistakes. His mission now is to reduce that gap up to Piastri and Leclerc as much as he possibly can. Also, folks, I've got to say, we will get, if Leclerc and Piastri do a two-stop strategy, we most certainly will get a battle between Leclerc and Norris for the lead of this race, and I cannot wait to see that. Norris versus Piastri is just going to be mega. Alright, 43,000 people tuned into live stream. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Hope you guys are enjoying the coverage. Look forward to commentating you guys for the Belgian Grand Prix as well. We'll be getting, not the Belgian Grand Prix, the Dutch Grand Prix after the summer break. It's going to be super duper exciting. We'll see if Verstappen can get close at his home Grand Prix, but things aren't looking on the up. He's currently up in 8th position, and he is, he's 3 seconds back from a Racing Bull car. Admittedly, the Racing Bull is still yet to pit, but not great. We'll see what Lawson can do, actually. He's still pulling off the one-stop. He's still hanging it out there on those medium tyres. He's done 39 laps on those medium tyres. Incredible. And Alonso's medium tyres look in pretty good condition as well. Like, we're watching the slow-mo here of Alonso's car, and everything looks in reasonable condition. So he looks to be happy to just continue on. Lando Norris, fastest lap of the race. He goes half a second quicker than Leclerc's fastest lap, and he goes a second quicker than Leclerc's previous lap. He's closing that gap up, but will it be enough? Okay. Here we go then. What else is going on? Alex Albon is coming out of the pits for his second stop. So we've had the first couple of drivers now do their second stop. Albon's out on the hards. Tsunoda's out on the hards. Colapinto is also out on the hard tyres. All right, folks, who do you think is your driver of the day, ladies and gents? Nico Hulkenberg has gained 8 positions so far in this race. Of course, after some of the pit stops come through, that might be a few more positions to his name. So, I don't know. Who is your driver of the day? Nico Hulkenberg's gained the most positions, up from 8th into 18th up into up into 10th, sorry. And Alonso finally comes into the pits. His tyres looked in good enough condition, but he's got to make sure that he doesn't come into the traffic of Lewis Hamilton and Nico Hülkenberg. Bortoletto's doing amazing as well, up in 5th position, and he's hanging out on those tyres, so props to him. Alonso comes out of the pits. Does he come out ahead of Lewis Hamilton? Yes, he does. And once Bortoletto and Lawson come into the pits, that will be a net 6th position for Fernando Alonso. Charles Leclerc as well, you know, he has clearly not got the fastest car, but he is holding on for dear life. Piastri is pushing him all the way. Piastri over the radio. What is this? Box over the radio to Piastri. Oh no, Leclerc's into the pits. Leclerc is into the pits. Piastri, a little lock up there for Leclerc as well coming into the pits lane. Hopefully he didn't exceed pit limit. But the McLarens, McLarens are, I think, going to wait for Piastri to come in on the next lap. Here comes Lando Norris. He blasts past into a net first place, and we've got, oh no, is he in a net first place? George Russell is, well, I don't know. It depends on what Russell's strategy is. But regardless, the gap between Norris and Leclerc now is 7 seconds. And Norris will probably be going to the end of the race. And Leclerc is going to be going to the end of the race from this stint. Piastri currently in the lead. Did they fake them out? Is Piastri just going to go right till the end? Who knows? But Bortoletto's into the pits, Lawson into the pits. Those medium tyres have really expired. 41 laps of racing on them. And they've had enough. They're coming out onto the hards for the end of this race. I don't know what Ferrari have done. I don't know if this is the right strategy call here. Yeah. Okay, Bortoletto into the pits, Lawson into the pits as well. And the Kick Saubers, 8th and 9th by the looks of it. They come out right next to each other. Which one comes out ahead? Is it... a switchback. Is that... That is Stroll just ahead of Nico Hülkenberg, and they're battling away. Bortoletto might be able to back Stroll up into his teammate Nico Hülkenberg. We'll see what happens down there for the Sauber team. But up at the front, Leclerc, purple in the middle sector. He's pushing like crazy. Is Piastri coming into the pits? No. You know, you would have expected maybe him to do the opposite. Maybe they faked them out. Piastri's mechanics came into the pit lane, and they had all of their tyres, they had all of the pit wheels and everything ready to go. The wheel guns ready to change tyres, but Piastri didn't come into the pits. Ooh, this is interesting, isn't it? Alright, thanks everyone for tuning in. By the way, folks, if you haven't hit the like button, be sure to do so. It really does help out the channel. Hopefully, we can make our way towards 8,000 likes. And also, if you haven't hit the subscribe button, be sure to do that. If we hit 190k, I'll be giving away 2 Surfshark VPN sort of subscriptions, so you can watch Formula 1 for free using SRF, just using the link in the description there. You join a Swiss VPN server, and you search SRF on Google, and job done. And then you can watch Formula 1, so go ahead and check that out. Verstappen has said, they've considered Verstappen to just do a one-stop. Verstappen said, it's not going to be easy, and they're monitoring it. So Verstappen, I think his initial plan was for a 2-stop, but looking at where Lawson and Bortoletto are now, they're going to try and do a 1-stop. And Verstappen says, well, it's not going to be easy. And, I can tell you for that is most certainly true. All right, Hülkenberg into the pits, and so the only driver yet to do their final pit stop, yet to do their first pit stop, is Lewis Hamilton. He's out on a set of hard tyres. Here comes Lando Norris. Can he overtake George Russell? There's a bit of traffic to help him out, and he's right on his tail. Down the hill they go towards turn number 3, and yeah, Norris can't get past. Huge understeer, misses the apex of turn number 2 by a country mile, and Russell is calm over the radio saying, I'm happy to extend my stint. Don't worry about this. Don't worry about Norris in my mirrors. I'm not letting him get by. Yeah, Norris is having a tough time here. His job was to obviously gain as much time as he possibly can, which involves overtaking George Russell. He has now got the tyre advantage. He's got 10 lap fresher tyres and a quicker car. Surely he can get the overtake done. All right, Hamilton finally into the pits. That is everyone now. Everyone has completed at least their first pit stop. 28 laps remain of this race. I think Hamilton's going to come out on the hards to go to the end. But Hamilton drops down to 12th. Does he come out ahead of Ocon? No. Ocon up ahead. Hadjar is ahead. Behrman is ahead. Gasly is ahead. Oh, no. Lewis Hamilton, 16th position. I mean, yes, there are some drivers ahead of him that are going to do 2 stops, but And Russell finally comes into the pits. Russell most certainly doing a two-stop, as you can see by the fact that he's driven into the pit lane. And now Norris has got a little bit of clean air ahead of him to catch up. And Piastri is continuing on with his stint. Is Piastri going to do a one-stop? Is he going to do a two-stop? I don't know, but there's 27 laps left of this race. And he's definitely not going to be able to undercut he's not going to undercut Leclerc, because Leclerc pitted quite a while ago. Leclerc's getting a lot of lap time on Piastri. On the previous lap, he was half a second up. But Piastri, I think, is probably going to pit. Actually, let me have a quick look. Did Piastri have 2 sets of medium tyres? I don't think he did. Actually, nobody had 2 sets of medium tyres apart from the Saubers. So yeah, Piastri is probably going to have a set of hard tyres to go to the end of the race on, and he is just going to have to push like crazy, try to overtake Leclerc and Norris. The mechanics there stood, they're waiting, they're ready to go, and Norris, purple in the first sector, is pushing like crazy. Folks, as of right now, you can see there the gaps are quite big up on the screen, but towards the end of this race, 27 laps left to go, all 3 of the top 3 drivers are going to converge upon each other. The lap times and the gaps are going to get smaller and smaller and smaller, and we're going to have a thrilling fight right at the end of this race. So just hang on in there till we get the battling, till the battling begins. Lando Norris, fastest lap of the race. Look at that, 2 seconds quicker than his teammate on the previous lap. Admittedly, I think Piastri had to clear a bit of traffic, but wow. Hamilton got lapped. Yeah, I mean, he's not got lapped by Charles Leclerc yet, but when he gets lapped by Charles Leclerc, that is going to be, well, just the worst feeling, isn't it, for Lewis Hamilton? Yeah, there's not much else I can really add to that. George Russell, purple in the final sector. He's pushing nice and hard there on a fresh set of hards to get them warmed up. And yeah, he's a little bit in a no man's land, really. He's not really fighting for this race win. He could potentially get on the podium if there's a bit of a blunder further up ahead. But yeah, he's going to need a bit of luck on his side to get that one done. All right. Yeah, we have got 26 laps remaining of this race here, folks. And currently, Oscar Piastri in the lead of this race. Lando Norris chasing him down by 2 seconds per lap. Yeah, that is pushing like crazy here. What is Piastri saying over the radio, actually? Let's have a look. Well, he's probably just discussing... Oh, into the pits. That's what they're discussing. Coming into the pit lane. We've got a little battle going on there between Behrman and Gasly. And we've got one of the Williams trying to go around the outside of Kimi Antonelli as well. Sainz tries to go around the outside. Can't get that one done. And we've got Leclerc is up into second. Piastri into the pit lane. And look at that. He's only got now a 5-lap difference. Strategy blunder from McLaren. His tyres are only 5 laps fresher than Leclerc's are, and he is 5 seconds behind him. So I don't know what's going on there. Norris, he is either going to have to come into the pits or Leclerc's going to chase him down. George Russell, fastest lap of the race. He is, yeah, we'll see what he can do. He's also got a 6-second gap to Piastri. So yeah, this is what I'm saying, folks. 25 laps left to this race, and all of these 5-second gaps, 6-second gaps, they're all going to close up. They're going to turn into nothingness. Piastri came into the pits because he was just not going to be able to go to the end of the race on the tyres. He had pushed too hard early on in the stint. And Norris, the same as well for him. He had pushed so hard, so many purple laps we saw from Lando Norris. How is he going to get to the end without his tyres falling off a cliff? I don't know. But... yeah, it's going to be a tough one to say the least. Here comes Isaac Hadjar then. He's got DRS on Carlos Sainz. Sainz was in fact attacking Antonelli. He's dropped off the back of Antonelli, and now he's under threat from Isaac Hadjar. And further down the field, Gasly again looks the inside of Behrman in towards turn number 2. Can he get an overtake done? I don't know. Norris coming over the radio saying, let's get a lot of blue flags. Can everyone be proactive here? So yeah, he's worried here. He doesn't want to he doesn't want to lose time behind Alex Albon or any other traffic, to be honest. So we'll see what Lando Norris can do. But Gasly, I think, just got ahead of Behrman there, or maybe they were in the same position. I'm not sure, but they're not showing the battles on the circuit. I'm just looking at the track map here, but on the circuit, I wish they would show the battles further down the back as well. At least we haven't got any shots of Lando Norris's mum, which is good. What tyres is Oscar's on? He's on hards, I think. Yeah. I don't know why it says question mark tyres, but it's hard tyres, most likely. All right. Yeah, just I'd like to say a big thank you to all of the channel members that just joined this stream. You do get access to a bunch of custom emotes, so go ahead and check those out. And if any of you folks are interested, it's just a $1 or €1 or £1 a month to join a channel member, and it really does go a long way to helping out the channel. So go ahead and check it out. All right, George Russell then, purple in the first sector, and yeah, he's closed up that gap. Piastri's closed up the gap to Leclerc, and Leclerc is 7.3 seconds back from Lando Norris. He's got to gain a third of a second every single lap now till the end of this race if he wants to chase down and beat Lando Norris. You know, there'll be some traffic on his side that'll help him out, and also the other thing that'll be on his side is that Norris has pushed like crazy on those hard tyres, which means they're going to wear out a lot quicker. And also track temperature down at 31 degrees. So that's going to help in sort of the tyre department for all of the drivers. But we've got pretty much everyone out on the hards, apart from Gasly, Hamilton, and Hülkenberg, who are out on the mediums. Bortoletto P7, yes, most certainly. Bortoletto is my driver of the day. Nico Hülkenberg has come into the pits for the second time. He started in 18th, now down into 19th. Not the best job from him. And yeah, well, I guess we'll... Looks like Hülkenberg's not going to be scoring points today, but I'm going to say my drive of the day, either... Actually, I think Bortoletto. Bortoletto is my drive of the day. Just a great drive from the rookie, to be honest. Antonelli's up 5 places as well, so maybe Antonelli up into 10th position as of right now. So maybe it could be Kimi Antonelli. Does McLaren have nice tyre management though? Well, they do have the high downforce setup, which helps them out with the tyre management. But it's down to the drivers. If you're pushing like crazy, your tyres are never going to wear out that nicely, and you will get a lot of tyre wear. Yankee Mojo, thanks for the donation. Go, Lando and Oscar. Indeed. Well, they're currently in 1-3, and Piastri's chasing down Leclerc. Leclerc not able to actually close up the gap to Lando Norris that much. In fact, on the previous lap, Charles Leclerc is 0.3 slower than Lando Norris. I don't know how that one's happened. Yeah. Who do you think will win? Ooh, that's a tough one, isn't it? 22 laps left to go. I think that I can't tell you who's going to win, but I think what's going to happen is that the drivers in first and second place are going to be finishing within 0.4 of a second of each other. Like, yeah, that's how close I think they're going to be. Is that Verstappen into the pits? Verstappen is doing a 2-stop. He was told over the radio they want to extend it to a 1-stop. Verstappen was like, haha, I don't think that's going to work. It's going to be really hard. And yeah, he's come into the pits for his 2-stop. And Alonso's up into 5th position, ladies and gents. Very, very nice job from Fernando Alonso. And Bortoletto's up into 6th as well. Verstappen's out in a fresh set, but he's out behind Liam Lawson, for crying out loud. He just gets out ahead of Antonelli. That could be big trouble. And he hasn't got warmed up tyres, actually. He's having to go quite defensive here against Antonelli. But he positions his car correctly enough, and it's all right. Einwalds Liz, thanks for the channel membership, very much is appreciated. Why isn't Hamilton your drive of the day? I can't tell if you're being sarcastic or not. I think you are, because yeah, I mean, Hamilton set a purple first sector, so he's clearly got some pace, but yeah, he's not my drive of the day because he's in fact gone backwards. Charles is losing time on both McLarens. Indeed he is. I don't know what's happened, but on this second hard tyre stint, he just can't get the tyres switched on. And he's losing time to Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri. And, you know, this isn't really just a battle between Piastri and Leclerc, because Piastri is in a championship battle with Norris. He needs to get ahead of Leclerc. Piastri's within DRS range of Leclerc now. A bit of traffic helping him out. Tsunoda causing a little bit of traffic, causing Leclerc to drive slowly. Hulkenberg might just be Leclerc's saving grace. If Leclerc gets DRS of Hulkenberg, he might be able to defend against Piastri. Otherwise, he might be a sitting duck. Here they are coming down the start-finish straight. Who is going to get DRS? Is it Leclerc? Is it Piastri? Piastri gets it. Leclerc doesn't. The gap's 0.3 of a second. Down the main straight they go. 1 kilometer, absolutely flat out. DRS is wide open. McLaren is gaining and gaining. Leclerc goes defensive. Piastri to the outside. Super late on the brakes. He tries tries to hold it around the outside. He does so. He gets good enough traction. Look, Piastri's up into second, and he's got to now chase down his teammate. Charles Leclerc's going to fight this one, but just no pace. Absolutely no pace. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it looks like Charles Leclerc, unfortunately, is going to be in third place for this race. However, we are going to get a battle between Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri. There are 20 laps left of this race. There are 20 laps worth of tyre wear that Lando Norris has got that Oscar Piastri hasn't got. And yeah, I've just got to tell you, we are going to have some sensational racing. There's a slight mistake there on Piastri's thing. It says Piastri's tyres are fresh. They're in fact 5 laps old, but still, a 15-lap tyre difference is more than sufficient to get an overtake done. Piastri was quicker in quali. He was quicker in the practice sessions. Oliver Bearman has retired from this race. Very, very unfortunate for him. It looks like he had some engine issues, and he is out. All right, but he parked it back in the pits. Come on, Bearman, you could have put it at least on the side of the circuit so we get a safety car. Okay, folks, who do you think is it going to be? Is it going to be Norris, who's going to be able to defend against Oscar Piastri for this race win? Or is it going to be Piastri, who just gets ahead of Norris on these final couple of laps? Let me know in the chat. This one's going to get really, really tasty. And as I said, I think the drivers between first and second are going to be finishing within half a second of each other, and I think that's going to come true. Piastri is gaining, and you can see here this green outline. That green outline tells you the driver is gaining on the driver in front of them. Russell's gaining on Leclerc, Piastri's gaining on Norris, and Bortoletto's gaining on Alonso. Let's wait and see. Okay, Piastri has less tyre wear. Indeed, he does. That's the one advantage he has on his side. And look at that previous lap. He is 1 second faster on the previous lap. Huge lap time gain for Oscar Piastri. Simply incredible from him. Well, the question is now, can he hold it for the next 7 lap straight? He's got a 7-second gap left to go. Can he, for 7 straight laps, push like it's qualifying and gain all of that time back that he lost by doing an extra pit stop? Alright, I'm going to have a quick sip of water here, folks. I'll be back in just a second. Okay. Here we go then. Also, just look at this gap. Alonso to Russell. 38 seconds? 38? I mean, look at them on the map here. Russell is here. Alonso's just entering sector 3. That is, I mean, that's just huge, isn't it? 38 seconds. What a big gap that we've got between the midfield. Oh, Leclerc. Oh, no, Leclerc. This is so incredibly frustrating. We've lost all competitiveness. You just had to listen to me. I would have found a different way of managing those issues. Now it's just undrivable. It's a miracle if we finish on the podium. Oh, Ferrari, why don't you listen to your drivers? Your drivers are driving the car. They know what's going on. They've worked their entire lives. Their whole lives are dedicating towards understanding car setup, understanding these Pirelli tyres, and you don't listen to them. Oh, it's so frustrating, Ferrari. Yeah, I mean, Leclerc is, under threat of George Russell here. As you can see there, Leclerc is, he's coming under threat. Russell's gaining. Piastri, of course, he's got DRS, in fact, off Alex Albon. He's closing up as he heads down the straight. He's closing that gap up to his teammate at a rate of knots. It's now just dipped under 6 seconds. Ferrari, honestly, I've got the perfect meme for this. Let me, I think I've got it saved on my laptop. Where is the meme? All right, I'm gonna try and find the meme. But continuing on with the race commentary, there really isn't that much stuff going on the circuit as of right now. We've got Verstappen trying to overtake Lawson, which is a bit comical, really. That shouldn't be happening. All right, let me just pop the meme up here, folks. This is the meme here. The Ferrari cycle. We are so back. At the end of qualifying, there we were, in the we are so back phase, and we are back, ladies and gentlemen. It's so over. This is the Ferrari cycle. What am I telling you? Yeah. I don't know what to say. Bearman had issues, so that's why he's out of the race. Yeah, Bearman is... I think he had engine issues, and that's why he's out of the race. What Ferrari does to a person. Yeah, it is... Not great, really, not great. The teams are so bad, even the horses left. I don't know what's going on. Charles, another pole not converted. Yeah, it's ridiculous, isn't it? Norris, if there's a safety car, we would take it for the hard tyre. You'd only lose out to Oscar. And then I don't know. Oh, I didn't see what Norris replied. I don't know what's going to happen there, but Piastri is gaining and the gap down to now 5.8 seconds. He's got a little bit of traffic ahead of him, and then it's a straight fight. He'll clear, I think Ocon it is, yeah, he'll clear Esteban Ocon, making it through the next couple of sectors. And then it will be a 1 versus 1, ladies and gentlemen. Lando Norris versus Oscar Piastri. This is what we have been waiting for. We had it last year, but there was just so many team radio involved last year because of the teams swapping the drivers around in 2024. Now, Oscar Piastri got his first ever win at this Grand Prix circuit. Can he replicate the success 1 year later? Yeah, Lando Norris has got clean air ahead of him. Oscar Piastri has got clean air ahead of him. We have got 16 laps left to go, and the gap is 5.7 seconds. And Verstappen again on the back of Lawson gets perilously close to overtaking into turn number 1, but Lawson is very late on the brakes, and in towards turn number 2, Verstappen can't get the overtake done, unfortunately. Actually, he holds it around the outside, and maybe he does, actually. It says my laptop is low on battery. What is going on here? Why is my laptop saying it's low on charge? It's literally plugged in. I don't know what's going on here. I might not actually be able to read chat here if my second... This is my second laptop. My normal laptop's still plugged in. But this is so strange. Oh, it's plugged in now. Okay. Never mind. So let's continue on. 15 laps remain of this race. It was literally plugged in, but it was saying it's running out of charge. Must be the power. Indeed it is. Must be the power. That's what happened to Oliver Behrman as well. He lost all of the power, and then he came into the pit lane. Okay, looks like there's no more pit stops left really in the last 15 laps of this race, folks. It's now just a straight fight. Five seconds is the gap now. He's got it down by 0.7 of a second. Can Leclerc still win? Unfortunately not. Leclerc's potentially looking at losing the podium here against George Russell. The car is undrivable in his eyes, and he's frustrated at the team for not listening to him. And yeah, it's just to summarise basically every single conversation between Leclerc and his engineer. That's the summary. Yeah. Also, I'd like to say Lando Norris, Oscar Piastri, and Charles Leclerc, all 3 of those drivers have got 8 wins to their name here in Formula 1. 8 Formula 1 race wins. And, well, they could be going to get their 9th. They're all in the top 3. Leclerc is sort of out of the running for his 9th win. Piastri, however, is very much in the running. Purple in the middle sector on the previous lap, and on this lap now gains 0.6 on his teammate. And every single lap that goes by, ladies and gentlemen, Lando Norris's tyres get worse and worse and worse. And he did destroy his tyres at the start of his stint, which has sort of got him this gap. If he didn't destroy his tyres at the start of the stint, Piastri would already be on the back of him. So he sort of just had to play a bit of a balancing act, pushing his tyres but not overheating too much, and we don't really know what's going on. What happened to Leclerc? They didn't listen to him talking about, I think, some setup changes maybe also, or the strategy or what they wanted to do, and he listened, and yeah, and then the car was undrivable, so that's what happened to Leclerc. Ferrari happened. Okay, what else have we got going on then in this race today? Verstappen still stuck behind Lawson. I mean, Verstappen is on 8-lap-old hard tyres. Lawson is on 16-lap-old hard tyres. And still, Verstappen cannot get past. Folks, what do you think? Do you think Verstappen is going to get past Lawson at any point in this race? Or do you think Lawson's just going to hold it right to the final lap? I guess we shall see. Ferrari, F1 Charles had more fuel in the car and the suspension raised. Well, that just makes no sense. Why would they do that? Well, anyway, doesn't matter now. George Russell's onto the back of Charles Leclerc, and he's going to have DRS on the next lap. Okay, gap at the front down to 4 seconds. Oscar Piastri is cool, calm, collected, chasing down his teammate. Not a mistake in sight. Norris has made the odd mistake in this race, but Piastri has been pretty flawless. And let's see what he can do. All right. Fernando Alonso also, oh my God, that gap is still 38 seconds. Russell to Alonso. It's just so big there. Alonso's lost so much time to George Russell. Russell could come into the pits and he would still be ahead of Alonso. All right, Piastri, sorry, not Piastri. Oh yeah, Piastri actually gapped down to 3.6, and Russell now, Leclerc's actually been saved here. He's been saved by the fact there's traffic ahead of him. I think he's going to get DRS. Oh, he doesn't actually. He doesn't get DRS on the traffic, and Russell's gaining now in towards turn number 1. What's going to happen? Here we go. Russell to the inside. Leclerc actually to the inside to get around the traffic, and Russell also gets the overtake done on that Williams. Yeah, they're fighting amongst themselves, but they're also fighting with traffic around them, which is another problem. Norris should jump onto the softs. No, I mean, I don't know if you... that makes no sense because he'll come into the pits, lose 20 seconds of lap time, and never be able to gain that back in the last 12 laps of the race. But, you know, that would be a Ferrari strategy if I've ever heard one. Yeah. Also, folks, be sure to hit the like button, be sure to subscribe. Hopefully we can hit 190k subs today. I don't think that, it might not happen actually, but maybe 189k subs, that would still be pretty epic. So be sure to hit the like button, be sure to subscribe. It would be really handy and would make our way towards 200k, which would be pretty cool. Does Gasly have hope? Well, Gasly's in 14th position and he's on the mediums, which is going to help him overtake Ocon, hopefully. But then after that, he's going to catch up to the back of Hamilton, be unable to overtake him and just get stuck in 13th. So not much hope. But Gasly's form, apart from this race, has been pretty solid. So yeah, things are on the up for Pierre Gasly, hopefully for next year. Right. Leclerc again defends against George Russell. Leclerc getting DRS, or not DRS, just slipstream off the traffic ahead of him. And that is what is holding him on, keeping him on as a lifeline for now. The question is, how much longer is that going to last? And it's not very long. He's got Gasly and Ocon to clear, and then there's no more traffic till the end of the race. Norris is closing up to the back of Hamilton a little bit, which could cause some traffic issues and some dirty air issues. But it looks like we're going to get a battle in about 5 laps or so between Piastri and Norris. Piastri, I'm sure, will have some pace in the bank. Piastri, in fact, last race had a lot of pace left in the bank. He will have his battery charged up as well. He knows he's going to need all of his battery if he's going to get ahead of Lando Norris. Norris, of course, he knows that Piastri is approaching. He's going to charge up his battery. And, well, we're just in for a very exciting race, aren't we? A proper race between two teammates. 10 laps left to go. Gap down to 3 seconds. And Russell is right on the tail of Leclerc. They've cleared Gasly. Now just one driver left. Ocon. Once they clear Ocon, it's a 1 versus 1. Leclerc versus Russell. And then we've got Norris versus Piastri. Here we go. All right. Yeah, what else have I got to say? Oh yeah, folks, if you do want to watch the Formula 1 coverage for free, what you got to do is, well, you got to pay $2 a month for Surfshark VPN, then you can watch it for free using a Swiss VPN server and SRF. If you guys are interested, check that out. There's a link in the description. About 500 or so people are using it on the channel right now, so it definitely does work. Oh, my second laptop has just switched off. Fantastic. Well, that is just brilliant, isn't it? So I'm gonna have to load up chat on my phone, aren't I? Give me a sec here, folks. Very convenient of my second laptop just to stop working, but I'll get the chat up on my phone. Brilliant. So what else have we got going on in this race here? We've got George Russell. He's closing up to the back there. Ocon still not letting Charles Leclerc by, so that's helping him out, and that's helping Leclerc out, at least to defend this third position. But there are still 9 laps left to go of this race. Piastri now gap down to 2.4 seconds. So he is gaining and gaining and gaining. And let's see what he can do. Must be the laptop. Yeah, I mean, it must be all of the chat messages, like so many thousand chat messages coming through, and the laptop just can't cope. But yeah, very much is appreciated to everyone tuning in. I might miss some donations or stuff like that, so I do apologise because of the lack of chat on my laptop, at least. All right, up at the front, Charles Leclerc loses the position to George Russell, even without the traffic. Yeah, straightforward overtake, isn't it, for George? And up into third position for George Russell. Leclerc is out, and game over for him. Leclerc's out of the podium places, and it's another podium for Mercedes by the looks of it. As long as there's no mistakes from George Russell, he should be good to go. Apart from that, now Piastri is just closing up now. That's the main thing. Piastri is closing up on Lando Norris. Gap down to now 1.8 seconds. Let's see what he can do. It's tantalizingly close, isn't it, folks? Tantalizingly close here in Budapest. 8 laps remain of this race, and Oscar Piastri is within 1.8 seconds of his teammate. Will he be able to close up that gap, or will he just get stuck because of the dirty air? He has got fresher tyres. He will have a full battery, but will it be enough? That is the thing. There's an incident between George Russell and Charles Leclerc that has just been noted, but I don't think that much of that's really going to go anywhere. I'm sure Leclerc's going to complain over the radio, but I'm not 100% sure, actually. I didn't get to watch the replay because my laptop died. So hopefully my laptop will restart and I'll be able to watch the replay, and that'll be nice and handy. All right, so no opinions on the George Russell, Charles Leclerc penalty because, well, as you know, I didn't actually see it because my laptop's dead. I'm going to continue on, though, with the commentary. 8 laps remain of this race, and Piastri's down to 1.2 seconds. Traffic is approaching. Traffic might be helping him out, might be slowing him down. I'm not sure, but he's going to have DRS most likely on the next lap, I think, and we're going to have 7 laps of battling between the McLaren drivers. Woohoo! Okay. Yeah, let me know. Who do you think is going to be winning this race? Is it going to be Piastri? Is it going to be Norris? And yeah, be sure to hit the like button as well. We've just hit 6,000 likes, which is kind of mind-blowing. Okay, what else is going on the circuit? Oh, give me a sec here, folks. I just need to restart my laptop. My second laptop, not the streaming laptop, so I can actually watch the race and commentate it, because we're going to get a very, very fierce battle here between Piastri and Norris. Oh, we're back, actually. My chat's loaded all up again. Perfect. Brilliant. So we have got 7 laps remaining of this race, and they're approaching traffic now. Norris is losing a lot of time. Oh, light drops. Wait. Light drops at turn 12. Is that what they just said? Okay. I'm not gonna jump over and start jumping about the weather just yet. But apparently there were some light drops. But the next word after the light drops was stopped. So yeah, maybe the light drops have also stopped. But we shall wait and see, folks. We shall wait and see. He's within DRS range, ladies and gentlemen. Here comes Oscar Piastri. Will he be able to get past his teammate? The McLaren battle that we have been looking for so long this season is finally on. Oscar Piastri versus Lando Norris. Who comes out on top? This is for the championship. Currently, Piastri is 16 points ahead of Lando Norris. If it finishes in this order, Norris is going to gain an extra 8 points, and that's going to go down to an 8-point lead. If Piastri finishes ahead, that 16-point lead is going to go up to 24. Ooh. All right, more traffic. It's Hadjar and Antonelli. Come on, folks, get out of the way. I want to see a battle between these two drivers. I don't want it to be affected by the traffic issues. Okie dokes then. 1 second is the gap as they pass through the DRS detection point. Justin Yap, thanks for becoming a channel member. And oh, we've got so many people becoming a channel member just when my laptop died. So very much is appreciated, folks. All right. Down the start-finish straight they go. Piastri has got DRS, and he's gaining, He looks to the inside, unable to get past on this occasion, and the traffic lets both of the McLarens by, and Piastri has a slightly compromised line into turn number 2, but not by much. And now there's just Antonelli left ahead. 5 laps remain of this race. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching the stream, you have to watch right to the end. You have to find out what happens between these two McLaren drivers, because it's this is going to set a precedent for the second half of the season. You know, they're going to get into a battle. There may be contact, there may not be contact. It could be super fierce, super clean. Alonso is in a nice 5th position. Charles Leclerc is in a safe 4th as well. Russell is in a very distant 3rd place. And further back down the pack, Hamilton's trying to overtake Isaac Hadjar further back, like just after they've let the McLarens go by. Antonelli is in 10th, made it up into 10th place. So 5 positions gained for Antonelli. Nicely done. And here we go then. Are they going to lap Max Verstappen? Probably not. But Hamilton has been lapped by Norris and Piastri, which I'm sure he's not particularly pleased about. Okay, Antonelli lets them by as well. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are in for a race. They come out of the final corner. Does Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris. Both of them will be deploying their overtake as much as they humanly possibly can. And they are super duper late on their brakes. Oh, is that Norris going wide at turn 1? A nice run there for Piastri. And Norris loses a little bit of time, I think. Or maybe he's taking a slightly different line. I'm not sure. But regardless, Piastri is hot on his heels. The mistakes have creeped in before in the past for Lando Norris. We have got 4 laps of racing, 16 kilometers around the Hungaroring for these drivers to make some overtakes. It's the 1-stop versus the 2-stop. 36-lap-old hard tyres versus 21-lap-old hard tyres. Who is going to come out on top? Current driver of the day split: Bortoletto for 17%, Alonso for 14%, Leclerc for 14% as well. I'm probably going to have to give it to Bortoletto as well. We've got Albon up into 15th, gets ahead of Esteban Ocon, but all eyes are up at the front. That gap is 0.664. It's down now up to slightly higher up, but the main thing now, smooth run through turns number 12 and 13, and just to get a very, very nice exit. A tiny little bit of oversteer could mean a lot of lost lap time, and here comes Oscar Piastri with the DRS, with the slipstream. Can he make an overtake as they come out of the final corner? Oh, Gasly has been given a 10-second time penalty for causing a collision. Not ideal there. I don't know what he's done, but he was down in 17th, so it doesn't matter regardless. In towards turn number 1, and again, Piastri's twitching around. The dirty air is really affecting his grip levels. He's on those hard tyres. He's losing grip left, right, and centre, and he's trying to get the power down, but he just can't. He's I don't know what it is. Maybe his tyres are overheating. Maybe he's pressing the overtake button too early. But he hasn't got many more attempts at this. 3 laps remain of this race. And he's either got to force a mistake out of Norris, which has been done before, or he's going to have to settle for 2nd position. Yeah, tyre advantage that Piastri has is 15 laps, but you do have to remember it's very, very difficult to overtake around here in the Hungaroring. They also have equal cars. You know, it's not like one car's quicker, so it should be easy to make an overtake. It is extremely tough. All right. Here we go then. 7 tenths is the gap again. Now as they enter the middle sector, the question is who can get a good run, who can get the least oversteer, and who has the least overheating tyres. Well, both drivers run wide through turn number 13. Understeer for both of them. Piastri's hugging a slightly tighter line than Lando Norris, and they come down the start-finish straight. He opens the DRS flap, he tucks into the slipstream, presses the overtake button. He's gaining in towards turn number 1. He sends one down the inside. He locks up, and he nearly crashes into his teammate. Oh my goodness me. That was very, very close between Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris. Wow. Oh, that was very, very close. And Piastri's going to have a flat-spotted tyre. 2 laps left of this race. Who is going to come out on top? The McLaren drivers and the engineers are all biting their teeth. They don't want to crash into each other and let George Russell take the race win. Oh my God, that was close, wasn't it there? And they said, Strat 9, remember to go racing. I think Strat 9 might be attack mode there for Oscar Piastri. He's struggling with the understeer, and the gap is still 0.6 of a second. In fact, he was closer than he was on the previous lap. He's pushing Norris through the middle sector, and if he can get a good run through turn number 11, it could be game over for Lando Norris coming down the start-finish straight. He was late on the brakes. He was trying to emulate Daniel Ricciardo, but he locked up just a little bit too much. All right, here they go then. Through the middle sector, 0.7 is the gap. He's within the DRS range, but the exit out of the final corner, ladies and gentlemen, that is the issue. And, oh, a little mistake there. Gap up to 0.7. And, oh, that might be... Yeah, he lost half a second there because of that lockup, did Oscar Piastri. Heading down towards turn number 1. This is it. Final lap of the race. Can he get an overtake done? No, he can't. He's got the DRS. He's got the overtake button. Everything he can in towards turn number 2. It is too little too late. He tries to go around the outside. He's now trying for the switchback in towards turn number 3 and 4. He's gaining, but it's the final lap of this race. Lap number 70 of the Hungaroring Grand Prix. And we have got Lando Norris in the lead of the race by 0.4 of a second. Oscar Piastri is not giving this one up just yet, and in towards the chicane they go. Can Piastri get the overtake? Lando Norris takes so much curb. Piastri does the same, and they've got 2 sectors left to go. 3 kilometers of racing left, and they could pull off an overtake into 12. It's risky. It's been done before, though. Here they go through turn number 11, down towards turn number 12. Lando Norris is fractions of a second ahead of his teammates. 2 corners remain, 13 and 14. Norris is nice and smooth on the power, not losing traction here through the final 2 corners. He comes out of the final corner. He wins the Hungarian Grand Prix, does Lando Norris. He gains 8 points on Oscar Piastri, and it's second place for Piastri within 0.7 of a second of his teammates. What a fight right at the end. Oh my God. And Lando Norris takes the win. Piastri in second by 0.7 of a second. Zach Brown, his heart must be beating so hard. He has, well, the 2 McLarens nearly collided. So, yeah, very scary situation down there at the McLaren pit wall. But he makes it through just A-okay. And... ladies and gents, that has been a pleasure commentating to you guys. What a wonderful race we've had. The final battle that we've had was Antonelli versus Hadjar, and Antonelli keeps that 10th place. Max Verstappen down in 9th. That's it. Championship over. Max Verstappen's down, and he's taken car number 33 next year, not car number 1. And Norris takes the race win. Very nicely done. All right, ladies and gents, thanks for tuning in. It's been a pleasure commentating to you guys. Have a wonderful morning, day, afternoon, evening, or night, depending on where you are in the world. And what I'm going to do now is going to take you over to the stream for next week for the Zandvoort Grand Prix. If you could just hit the reminder button and the like button, it really does help out the channel for the YouTube algorithm, and that would very much be appreciated. And yeah, be sure to hit the subscribe button, be sure to hit the like button, and hope to see you then. We've got a bit of a summer break, and yeah, we should be back. But it's been a pleasure commentating to you guys. Thanks for everyone for sticking through the mic issues and everything, and I'll see you then. But yeah, big thank you to all of the channel members, and be sure to hit the like button, the reminder button. Really does help out the channel. All right, cheers. Bye-bye, folks. Bye-bye. Oh, I'll put the standings up as well. Yeah, give me a sec. Championship standings. Here we go, up on the screen. I'll put them up for a sec so you guys can all have a look. All right. Yeah, that's all from me. As you can see there, we have got McLaren, of course, in the lead of the constructors. Oscar Piastri gains 18 points. It's 284 points for him. Lando Norris is slightly further back, and yeah, but that's the Constructors' Championship. All right, bye-bye, folks. So if you could just hit the reminder button, really does help out the algorithm, and the like button as well. Cheers. Bye-bye.